Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. Look, it's 1 o'clock. What I was about to say noon. What the heck? It's 1 o'clock again, Monday. Holy mackerel, starting this show off wrong again. Good afternoon, everybody. What is happening? It's snowing in Indiana. I hope everybody is ready. I've got the old Trucking Answers mobile unit chained up, getting ready to go. and we are ready to roll here. Holy mackerel. Thanks to veterans. It's Veterans Day today. Go thank a veteran. Holy mackerel, you can get some free chow at the J and Pilots today. That's awesome for them to do for everybody. I love it. All right, so we got AB5 is in the news again. Yikes. Hey, they added trucking jobs. Melton's giving everybody a raise. The snow's here. Swift has got something to say. I got some rate information. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Holy mackerel. There is stuff to do, including clicking like this. It's also Roller Wiener Monday. Did you get your roller wiener out? Get your wiener out and get ready to listen to the show. All right, so there we go. As usual, Bridget will be here with us today on the show as co-host, of course, and as I'm trying to figure things out as I'm clicking. All right, so there we go. We'll take a cat break every once in a while. All right, there's that click. Look at me clicking around. Oh, there I am right there. There I am. All right, there's puts me up there. As I always forget to do that, even though people would prefer I did forget to do it. So first person I had here was the other day was Barry McConkner on the other day. Okay, today Misty was first today. That's who I have. That's who I was able to see on there today. Okay, so there we go today. That is first. Thank you for being there. Everybody way early. I do appreciate it. Wild Bill is also here today. Who else is out here today? Looking around. Trucker Hershey, what's happening? What's going on out there today? Is everybody snowed in? I'd see some people are riding their Harley Davidson. Must be nice to do that. Very nice of you to be out on your motorcycle in the weather today. Mark is here today. Thank you for being here. As I go down the Columbia Gorge. What's going on? I got your email. Dario is here. Roger Penske undercover. I love it. Right, I saw that earlier. I was curious about that. Jim Trucker, what's happening? Jay James is here. Oh, hello there. What's happening out there? Michael Cole, Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, it's windy. I got it. Here we go. What am I doing? Ralph, good afternoon. Samuel, hey, what's happening? Marty is here, trucking along with Kiersey. I love it. Snowing in Illinois. I know. It's going to stop here pretty soon. It's only going to snow for a few hours today. That's going to be good. Trucking journeys. You're in Wisconsin. It's snowing and icy. Yeah, it's a disaster up there, right? But the cold weather is coming later. We're supposed to have 11 degrees later tonight. That's not going to be great. Nomad Trucker, raining ice in Texas. They don't know what to do with it there. Auto Evidence Bot headed up 65 from Louisville to Chicago. Yeah, it's going to be really something going up there today. Kenworth Rider, hello there. What's happening? No name Trucker. Costco is slow at 2. Going to be late to 90. I don't know what 2 and 90. That must be a local thing. You get to watch me. I appreciate it. Is that's your company's logo or something, right? Or lingo, I should say, not logo. What am I talking about? The Mark of Excellence is here. Hello, Josh is here. What's going on, Jeffrey Herring? Good afternoon out there, way out in the boonies. What's happening? The barbecue trucker from Central Texas is not going to get the snow that we're getting. Flatbed in the snow, trucking along with Kiersey. Yeah, you know, my first winter flatbedding in the snow, that was about enough of that. The tarps would freeze out on the flatbed, and so we had to put them. I would put them in the passenger side of the truck. They didn't have a passenger seat in my truck. They took it out because they go, you can't take a passenger anyway. So they didn't have any passenger seats there at Regal. So you would just melt the tarps on that side. That's what I used to do with them anyway. James Faust, hello there. Thursday, no, nothing on Thursday today. JJ God, where am I doing on that? JJ Godfrey, you're headed back from Florida again. No, yikes. You should stay down there now until about March. Miro retracted that, right? Costco, where we go. I can't find any snow. Yeah, come on over here. It's snowing. It's snowing right here. I brought in the bird feeder because it's snowing. Hello from Melbourne, Florida. Rich, really? But where'd I go off here? I lost myself already. For new people, I lose my place all the time. It's just a disaster. So I appreciate everybody sticking with it anyway. And even though I'm not great at this. Well, Bill, who do you drive for? Well, I don't get asked that often. Also for new people to the show, which I do every Monday at 1 p.m., okay? The thing is, I don't say where I drive, and because, I'm not out there recruiting for them, and it keeps them out of your videos. Once you get a company looking into your videos, it can be a problem. I've had some people write to me, they get fired for it and stuff. Keep them out of the videos, and I don't recruit for them. Every driver's out here recruiting for their company. Not everyone, but a lot of them. No thanks for that. Keeps everything smooth that way. It's only going to get in the high 50s in Chattanooga. Yeah, Brian, that must be terrible. High 50s. That's horrible. James, it's beautiful in Oregon. That's unusual. 71 in Georgia. It's a real boy. That would be really great. 34 in Alexandria. We're 32 up here. 32. It's headed towards you. Joshua, nice weather in Mississippi, but on the way to Canada, eh? Oh, great. That should be wonderful. Todd says it's 66 in Biloxi. Jeff says it's warm in Hesperia at 69. Yikes. I won't see that again until next year. Eric, what's going on? Hello. And I'm off here. Ever talked to FedEx owner up? No, I haven't. I'm going to talk about this AB5 because it's in the news. Hard to find info without calling them to see if the pay is decent. No, I don't know what they pay on that kind of stuff. Jets going in Ellsworth, Kansas. All right. Hey, Mark from Hawk from California. What's going on out there? Bet it's better than here. Are you having an AB5 problem? How's good with you? Have a good day, home wrecker. Was 71 20 minutes ago, now 55 with 40-mile-an-hour wind. I would take that here today. Wondering how much more Melton can give per mile. Well, Melton is in the news. They're giving everybody a raise. I'll get going with that right here. The students are started 46 cents for students. 3 months, 47 cents. 6 months, 48 cents. A year, 51 cents. 3 years, 52 cents. You can get up to 57 cents there. So that's what they said. They got a big raise, and they're happy to do it for everybody. I thought that was pretty good. And because I don't know what it was. So what was the pay if anybody works there? Mastermind 24/7. Oh, I love it. Good afternoon. Trucker Todd, just sitting here with your roller wiener in your hand, hopefully. Miro, hello from Canada. We're getting snow. Yeah, no doubt. Right. But it's you don't get as much because it's in metric. CB name is Nighthawk. I love it. Korean Mafia made you sign in for an employee handbook. Like it after 3 years. They're getting it together. Say it isn't so. Yeah, right. So did you sign it? I guess you did sign it since you're there. I'm surprised. I can't imagine what's in that handbook, too. Usually those kind of places don't put anything in writing. Everything's just on the down low. Misty says it's 70s in Vegas. Sweet. No snow, what, every 6 years or something, right? You're, Todd, hey, Jeff, I'm with Great Plains. Really, they're in the news, too. Great Plains is in the news. They are giving, Great Plains Transport is giving people, new drivers food, $50 in food money, besides everything else. So, no passenger seat. That is the roadway joke. Why no seats? So the driver knows where to sit. Oh, nice, Trucker Hershey. Yeah. They told us they took the seats out because you couldn't take a passenger anyway. They go, so we're taking the seat out of the truck. So you didn't have a passenger seat in that truck. It was just your seat. It's not required to have one, I guess. So I would put the tarps over there and let them thaw out after they'd sit out on the thing all night. So, yeah. Donovan says you're 20 miles west of Indy and it's only rain. Yes, it's coming. If you check out the radar, it's coming. Ross, full auto ELD coming soon. December 16th is your day. If your company's not on top of it, they better get on the ball here to get this ELD going. They got a month to get a full ELD going, and a bunch of companies aren't on it, so get on it. Who don't I drive for, Misty? Well, there's a long name of companies. Nick, 61 here. Gustavo, do I know JBG Travels? No, I see their videos, but I don't know them. I've never talked to them or anything. What's up? What's going on over there? Treone Richardson, 67 in Raleigh. That would be sweet, too. Chris, I'm not a steering wheel holder. You're a roller wiener consumption specialist. Oh, that's pretty good. I wonder if they could, consider it's Veterans Day, they should have an MOS for that. How about that? TJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods. Greetings from Wells, Nevada. It's 40 and sunny. I'd take it today. That would be better than it has been here. I mean, it just changed into nothing. It was 50 just the other day. Same with Tradition Trucking out of Angola. Don't waste your time. Okay, what's the story there? Why shouldn't we waste our time there? Just washed your truck at 68 in South Carolina. Well, at least. Below freezing and snowing here in St. Louis. I saw it's like an angle coming across at an angle. Everybody, of course, should have some kind of weather map or whatever on their tablet, phone, something. Check it out. It's Monday night. Thought it was Thursday. Yeah, James Faust, you're a little bit off. When I started my Melton, they were at 41. When I left, starting was 44. Well, now it's 46 for students at Melton. So they keep raising their pay. So that's good. Jimmy Savage, you just get into flatbed. Yeah, look, if you got a seat, I don't know what to do with the tarps. They'd sit out there, you're driving on the winter, and it's a gigantic ice cube. When you get where you're going, it might have melted, froze. So I would put them in the passenger side and let them melt. Just crank the heat up in the truck. They didn't care then if you ran your truck, so it wasn't a problem. Well, Bill, congratulations on 93 shows in a row. Well done. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Today's the 94th live show. I will say I don't know if they're all Monday shows. So early when I started doing the live shows, there were a few random days when I would just like pop in and go, hey, it's a live show or whatever. And before I got the whole idea of having a schedule. So there's probably 80 some that have been Mondays consistently, but there's been 93 live shows. I can't believe I counted. I couldn't believe it, right? Getting close to 100 live shows, really something. Trucker Alex, hello, based out of California, looking to go owner-operator in the future. Is it even worth it? AB5, well, look, Landstar and Schneider sent letters to their owner-operators in California just this last week, and it says you have three options. You can move, is number one, and have an address, a driver's license outside of California. Number two, you can get your own authority, and they'll contract with your company to move freight, or you can deliver in California but not pick up there. So I'd be very careful about that before any of the laws change or whatever. That's what Landstar and Schneider gave as an option. Or you can become a company driver, they said, but that's really not going to happen for owner-operators probably. So those are the three options they gave them. Otherwise, they're not going to do business with people in California. Or they're not going to let you pick up in California. That's what they said. You could it kind of works like a foreign country, which basically it is anyway. IC is a great program. Where's a great program that's IC? I think I'm off on the thing again. As I flip around here. Between Melton and TMC, which flatbed company to go to? Well, look, I'm just not big on TMC because of all the cleaning. I just can't tolerate the cleaning. You get really dirty in the winter bringing all this ice and stuff in the truck. And at TMC, when they inspect your truck, it's got to be showroom condition according to them. And so I'm just not in that either. Bed has to be made, just weird stuff like that. I'm just not in for it. I'm not. So for those, I just do Melton just because of the little micromanaging at TMC stuff. Pays his driver 70 cents a mile, 2 driver split. That's not bad, right? Kyle, if I didn't have a jump seat, I'd put green from the sleeper to where the seat usually goes. I'd be putting, that's not a bad idea too. But then, you didn't have, this wasn't like now, okay? Behind you was a bed. It was a sit-in sleeper at Regal. So you moved your stuff back and forth anyway because the only place to store things was on your bed. That was it. So sit-in sleeper, that was just a few feet above your head when you were sitting in the bed. Red Monkey Trucking is here. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for doing your drivers. Thank you very much. Happy Veterans Day to you as well. How about that? And thanks for being here. People should go check out Red Monkey Trucking for all things Red Monkey. Seriously, right. Go check them out. They have a good channel rolling along over there. Marty, a per break. Oh, yeah, we can always do that. Right. It's always time. Gracie is always wondering what's going on out here. She never knows what's happening. Bridget is always looking to see what the latest thing happening is. Of course, some of us are cat people. So there you go. Bridget. She's always watching to see what's happening. And there's more clicking. All right. A better flatbed company at Melton. I think so, too. I just can't tolerate all the... and I heard that, I saw that some other companies are doing this, too, going to this cleaning thing. It's one thing to keep your truck clean. I'm not telling you, trash the truck, nobody cares. But showroom condition is ridiculous, okay? Is anybody's car showroom condition ever after you buy it, after a month after you buy it? I mean, that's a lot of cleaning to do. Trucking Journeys, you're going to go ahead and say that I work for XPO. Oh, that's your guess. All right. The white Freightliner doubles and triples and full-length trailers, all multi-stop loads. Yeah, multi-stop. I love it. Where's Cash is King Trucking for multi-stop loads? All right. I talked to Great Plains, but passing them because they have inward-facing cameras. Okay, I don't know about that. I just know that they made the news because they are handing out $50 cards when you start, besides everything else for food, and the drivers love it. So that as you get started, you can basically pack your truck full of food, which is a good idea. And I also thought it's kind of sad that drivers, because what the guy from Great Plains was saying is, drivers come and they don't, they're coming from a company, don't have any money. Well, that's pretty sad. Why doesn't a driver have any money? Because they're not paid properly at their companies. it's too bad that that they have to start you out with your own food. I mean, that's really something. Roger bought the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I did see that. Roger Penske bought the Motor Speedway. That's something. Not Great Plains Transport. It's GP Trucking out of Salina. Top notch. Good. Hello from Idaho on your way to Shelbyville. All right. Kroger, going to Kroger over there maybe? That's one of the big things out there in Shelbyville. They hire all the time. If they were closer, I might work over there. Heard Landstar could lose 500 trucks. Yeah, due to AB5. But I think eventually could spread to Washington. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Look, what if you're an owner-operator in California, here's your options, Landstar said. Move. Get your own authority, which is a hassle, or you can only deliver in California and not pick up there. Maybe if you live by the border of another state, that might be tolerable. But you're not going to be, doing city of industry and bobtailing out or, deadheading out every load to bring in there. Truck and pop-up, what is this FMCSA clearinghouse thing all about? All right, every driver that is subject to drug testing, which is all of us right here that are driving, will have to be a member of the clearinghouse. And your company will have to query it, as the FMCSA says. They'll have to check the FMCSA drug clearinghouse once a year for all their current drivers, and they'll have to check it anytime you apply for a company. So, yes, you'll have to go to the clearinghouse and sign yourself up for it. And so a company will be able to query your record, to check your records. Yeah, it will be mandatory. You betcha. I did a video a while ago about it. I was going to do something in December about it, but yeah, because it's in January, absolutely, it will be mandatory. It's not going to cost you anything. It will cost the company $1.25 to query the clearinghouse. And they'll have to do it for all their drivers once a year. Schneider choice is better than all of them. Well, okay, why? Why is Schneider better than all of them? Let's say that. Stay hydrated. Still important in cold weather. Sure, drink your water. Eric says, thanks to all who served. Absolutely. Hello, Mark from Texas. What's the topic? Blue Lion, what's going on out there? Oh, well, I got this AB5 stuff. I got Melton giving a raise. Omnitracs is back up. Hey, whatever you want. I got it all going on down here. Trucking added jobs, by the way. How about that? Where's this apocalypse? Trucking added jobs in October. How can there be an apocalypse if we have more jobs? Best CDL training company, a lot of that depends on you, where you live, stuff like that. Put antifreeze on the tarps. Yeah. I wondered if they had anything that you could do like that, to put them, because they turned into just a gigantic block of ice. Trucker Hershey's near Shelbyville, so you're up by Kroger warehouse too. They hire all the time at that Kroger warehouse. Any special giveaway in episode 100? All right. What should we give away in episode 100? How about that? C Hill says, hello, veterans. I was wrong. It's a 76 in Biloxi. Great. Thanks for updating that. Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. You're well. You've been a driver for a year. Thank you very much. Well, thanks for being here, and I do appreciate it. Didn't Prime do the same? But what are we? Prime did what? TMC. Anytime you go to the terminal. Well, yeah. They say it's anytime you go to the terminal, you're subject to inspection. And anytime the truck comes in for service or anything like that, it will be inspected. Now, I really don't know how many times they go randomly inspect trucks that are not coming in, for work or not, but they do say that you're subject to it anytime you're at the terminal. And from what I understand, drivers, as this goes everywhere, if you're dirty, your truck's dirty, they'll call you in or whatever, because there's always somebody that will call you in for something stupid like that. Maverick beats them all in flatbed. I agree, but you know what? I get tons of letters from people now that can't get on at Maverick. They go, oh, Mark, I've been writing to them month after month after month. They won't answer me. I can't get on. So I don't know what to say. Do they not need people there? Does anybody right now work at Maverick? Are they doing any hiring? If not, look, if you're not going to hire somebody or don't need people, you should write them and say, we don't need you or we're not hiring, but not just let them hang there. What's up with that? Just don't be a lease driver living in California. Any owner-operator that doesn't have their own authority, Landstar said, they're not going to do business with them. Period. Schneider said the same thing. They sent out almost an identical letter to all their independent contractors in California. Maverick still have a hiring freeze? I don't know. People are writing to me saying they can't get through to anybody there, so I don't know if they're having a freeze or what they're doing. They won't write back. Gracie will consider a cat break, certainly at any time. This is very exhausted looking at the snow out there as cats get, certainly. Red Monkey Trucking, yeah, you're quite welcome. Very entertaining over there, like it. Good companies, and it doesn't matter. We can disagree on companies or whatever. I think it's great. Any place that somebody works, because we probably have a disagreement on your company, but look, any place, if you work somewhere, anybody, it works for you, stay there. Look, if you're getting 70 cents a mile at England and you get home every Friday at 5 p.m., you stay at that company. Everybody can make a good living no matter where they are if they can get into the right thing at that company. Everybody. Good companies should stop delivering or pulling from California. Yeah, oh, sure. That's the solution. We're not bringing you any more stuff. But that won't happen, right? But absolutely. That would be how long would it take for that law to change? Once they stop delivering electricity for all those Teslas out there, they'd get the law changed, I'm sure. I'm positive of it. Oh, yeah, that was pretty good. I'm not sure. It depends on where you live. Love your little back, Bella. Aw, yeah, cute. If you're in the Southwest, rural trucking is a flatbed company. It's not a mega carrier. That's part of it. That's part of the problem, right? Get away from those. You could do better. If $50 is going to make a difference and something's wrong with your lifestyle, it probably doesn't. It's not going to make a difference in your lifestyle, but it is nice that they basically give you $50 to fill the truck up with food. That's and they actually have it brought to the terminal there. So I think that's pretty good. I think it's a good idea. And anything that a company gives you to get started, I'm in for. So I'm all for it. Melton and their cameras in the decline in miles. Do they have facing cameras too, inside facing cameras? Are all these large companies just going down the toilet? You left Melton because of their home time policy. What is their home time policy? Sam is going to Kroger. That's what I figured. It's one of the bigger things out there in Shelbyville. They hire you to retire you. Keenan Advantage Group is 58 cents a mile. Overtime are loaded and empty miles. OT are loaded empty miles. Isn't Shelbyville the town next to the Simpsons? Oh, I don't know about that. Glad to be part of the live show. Where did I go? And I lost it. Good job, Mark. There we go. Okay. Just got hired by Gardner, CRST, for local in Santa Ana. 14 during training, 17 after training. Wow. In Santa Ana, California, $17 an hour. I would say that's really low. Super low. I didn't know CRST owned them. I mean, you're going to have 9 jobs. 17 is not good enough. I don't think. I mean, look around. Maybe your wife is a doctor somewhere or something, but $17 has got to be a tough lifestyle in Santa Ana, California. Doesn't matter about outward-facing camera. The Lytix cam picks up everything off the windshield. Yeah, look, other people have done videos about this, and I talked about it when I heard about it. Depending how far the camera is from the windshield, they do get a little reflection from the inside. You can put an anti-reflective coating on the inside of your windshield, because certainly they're not recording you, so it shouldn't be any problem. That'd be what I'd do if the camera was farther from the windshield. I think a little anti-reflective coating on there, from the sun, I think is a problem. But I totally agree with you, right? And there's always the speaker to listen in on what you're doing. If you change the license to another state, you can live and work in California. No, Russ, what the Landstar was saying is move. And they wanted the license to prove that you had moved. So you had to move. You'll have to have an address and a license from somewhere else. I suppose wherever you live, I guess, is your problem. But when you go home, I mean, you're going to have to drive the truck. You're only going to be able to get a load back to your house, right? Great Plains Trucking is owned by Kubota, the place that make the four-wheelers. You have the freedom of choosing your work. Yeah, how much is Melton paying? 46 cents to students to get started. 3 months is 47 and 48 cents. Years 51 cents, and they can go up to 57 cents. They gave everybody a raise. Jimmy, been auto driving a year with a year experience. Do you have any options? Your career is not over. Okay, I don't know if they'll consider you a student or not. That's a close one. You're a year and year. I think you could still get in with that year experience somewhere. Pharaoh's Western Express as bad as everyone says? No, it is way worse than that. Believe me, snow here in Omaha, the sky's literally falling, I bet. Western, only some people to Western Express if they can't get somewhere else. There's some people that will ride in and they have current felonies, not like today. Oh, I killed somebody this afternoon. But they'll have a felony that's a year, 6 months. And everybody's turning them down. Then Western is kind of a second chance place where you can get in there and maybe it's worth it to get into trucking, but otherwise you can do better. There's not a shortage of drivers. There's a shortage of quality drivers. There's a shortage of quality good companies too. James Faust, give away money. Holy mackerel. How about I give away a week's worth of cat food to cat lovers? How about that? Here's $20. Western is the bottom of the barrel for flatbed. Yes. The only reason to go is if you can't get in somewhere else, they'll probably take you. Western is bad. I'm in the truck right now. What do you think the worst thing about Western is? Change pants back to Roger. Oh, okay, good. Thanks for being back here. Do you touch the freight? I don't touch any freight, no. Red Monkey Truck GP called you. Oh, yeah? Do they do much teaming over there? Or would you both go over there? I'm just curious about that because even though I like them, and let's put their info right here, I do love GP Transco, right? They don't pay me for any of this, so I do just like them. But I'm just curious, do they have a lot of teams at GP Transco? I don't know. Prime is not allowing any lease drivers in California either. Got to be a co-driver, have an authority. Yeah, same. So they're doing the same thing as these two. These two happen to be in the news. I got to assume it's all companies. You're not going to be able to lease there. You're going to have to move or get your own authority. As simple as that, right? Swift had to put out messages. If your truck isn't clean while in the shop, then you'll be called back to clean it. Well, what do they see? TMC clean and clean is one thing. You know, I've gone in trucks here that are trashed. One truck went and had garbage up to this passenger seat level. Okay, there's no need for that. We have a dumpster. The truck is in the yard, so they drove past a dumpster. Can you throw your trash out once in a while? It's one thing to keep your truck clean. It's another thing to keep it totally showroom condition. Wild Bill stopped in at GP to say hello. Yeah, what did you think about that? How were they to you over there? Better off going to Brown Trucking out of Lithonia, Georgia. Once I leave Titan Master. What do you think about it? Will AB5 affect Canadian drivers? No, it's California residents. So I don't think Canadian drivers will have any problem. So it shouldn't be anything. It's California because these companies are saying, look, if you move, it's not going to be a problem. So people could move to Vegas and not have a problem. Guess Walmart will get a few more from California. The guys getting out of owner-operator? Yeah, probably, right. I don't think many owner-operators are going to get out of being an owner-operator because of the law, though. I mean, that was the fourth thing. They said you could become a company driver. Once you're an owner-operator for a while, I think you're on that path or company driver path, it seems like. Maybe they meant the zombie apocalypse, not the trucking apocalypse. Oh, they had the wrong apocalypse going. What should I send? It's Steve. What should I do if a receiver shipper acts like a cold roller wiener? Well, you just kill him with kindness. Great Plains Trucking out of Salina, Kansas beat all the other flatbed companies. All right, why? What are they doing great over there? Where am I? Oh my gosh, I'm so far back. My application for Maverick was submitted August 20th. Status says pending. That's the problem. I mean, if they don't want people, then just say we don't need people. Please update the 3,000-hour week driver position, Kevin. That was another channel out here on YouTube, not me. Okay, I never talked about a 3,000-hour week driver position, and as far as I know, there aren't any. So if anyone knows of a 3,000-hour week driver position, I'd love to hear about it. Here's the thing. No one would have to advertise that. They'd have a ton of drivers, right? I mean, it's $150,000, okay? So owner-operator can make that kind of money gross, no problem, right? But there's no way that there's a 3,000-hour week company driver position yet, just as a regular driving job, as far as I know. Kevin says, yeah, Trucker Hershey, wrong channel. Yeah, there's another channel out here that is talking about that. And look, you notice that's being talked about, but never the company's ever mentioned, so you have to come back video after video. Walmart still says pending. Walmart still pays the best out of everyone, $100,000 for 17 years. Well, you can get 100, okay? Walmart, and you know, with their goofy rules, I'm still out. Money, I'm not one of the people that says, look, money is the be-all and end-all of everything. If you hate your job every day, it isn't worth it. My stepfather went to work at the mills. We lived up in, at that point, we lived in Lansing, Illinois. People know where that is. And he worked at the mills in Gary, Indiana, the steel mills. He hated every day of his job. And I asked him, you know, once as a teenager, I go, what are you doing? Why do you work here? Oh, well, he goes, I make a lot of money. We would get a new Mercury Colony Park wagon every couple of years. We had a nice house and, you know, traveled and stuff. Is that worth it? Hating your job? I don't think so. I think there's other ways to make money and like your life rather than not liking your job. So the Walmart with their 6-minute phone calls and all this other uniforms and everything, forget it. You know, it's not for me. I don't think you should get the best paying job. I think you get the job that suits you best. I think that does you way better. In and out facing, great. Swift driver told me that their companies have a hiring freeze. Really? Don't know how true. They should take their ads down. They're running ads. Safety was always calling for stupid things like visor being down while sunny out. Oh, yeah, of course, because you could be blocking you might be blocking for them from watching you. It's more important that they watch you than that you see out the road. You're going to go to the Chili Bowl, Alf? Nice. Why do people wait on a company's call? Move on. Well, I think after this kind of long, I would write him back and say, look, I'm out of here. Swift to scale back on hiring students? That's crazy. Rich, yeah, that speaker's on exactly. Saw a story about Walmart paying their drivers twice the median salary. Yeah, twice the national median, but the median is low, I think. You know, a lot of news places talk about drivers make $30,000 a year. I don't think the average driver makes $600 a week. Maverick has a hiring map on their website. Yeah, but they won't contact you back when you write to them. Melton will only let you do home time where you're domiciled. Can't change domicile. Really? I have more than one house in more than one state. I couldn't rotate. Not that many cares. Well, what do they care? If they have, if you're going there, it just doesn't make sense to me. I guess I'm not running a big company. When you go home, it shouldn't matter if the truck's just sitting there. Swift has fired people by catching them on windshield reflectors. Yes, I've heard of other companies doing the same kind of thing. Depends what they catch on you there. Yeah. You're doing something, go, oh, we're not watching you. They're still watching you. They mount the camera back far enough to catch your reflection. I'm new, just hired at Connor Logistics. Nice. For a nightly run out of Commerce, California, 23 an hour. That's better. New driver pulling doubles, home every day, weekends off. That's pretty good. 23 as a new driver, that's good. That's much better. The 17 earlier in California, I don't think so. That's why you bought a truck when you left. Yeah, right. What are you supposed to do? Hey, Mark, I was laid off from Millennial because the relay accounts are making them lose money, so they laid everyone off. Nice. A trucking company that lays people off. Wouldn't they let you just do other stuff? I guess not. I hear Landstar loves to double broker loads. I don't know that much about the place. Qualcomm's all CAMU. I saw a driver looking down at the dispatcher on his screen when I was in the office at Fabulous in Sparks, Nevada. Really? I know that Lytics on their website shows that they record 100 hours of video. So if you have a Lytics cam, because an astute driver sent this to me, Lytics records the past 100 hours and saves it. So keep that in mind. When your company says we can't look back at you, Lytics says they keep the last 100 hours of video so that companies can go back and see what time you made a delivery and stuff like that. Oh, it's all for the company's benefit. Lytics says they do it. Found a job in the oil fields making $3,000 a week. That's pretty good. That's really unusual. My friend started with Western Express. His mentor smokes weed all day. Okay. This is not the critic. That is not an unusual situation at Western Express. I've heard of companies that let you take home time anywhere. Yes, some will let you. They don't care. Western 500 miles a week. Nah. Lifetime supply of roller wieners. Oh, that would be good. But you know how many that would be? Giveaway roller wieners. Wow. Wonder. Yeah, there. I ship those, and then somebody gets sick. Right. Worst thing. No communicate. We could do a live show from the Loves where people that show up get a roller wiener. Did you see where GP donated school supplies and clothes to a shelter? Yes, I did see. GP Transco has a website or a YouTube channel as well, which you should subscribe to, of course. But they did donate school supplies and clothes to a shelter. They sent one of their trucks out there full of stuff to donate that, and that is good of them, absolutely. Anytime people can do good is great, especially for the people receiving it. RGTV, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, good morning. What's going on? Red Monkey Trucking, the GP, they do team. They have regional teams and home every other weekend. Oh, all right, I didn't know that. All right, because maybe they don't advertise it as much. Okay, good. Because it's got to be harder to find a team spot like that. Why would you consider leaving there, or did you just call them out of curiosity? I mean, because if you have a good thing going, you may have, that's what I'm curious about. USA Truck used to let you take home time in any zip code. That was more than a decade ago. Yeah, cash or scheme. Why not, right? What's the difference to them? If the truck's sitting anyway, what do they care? If it's, where did I go off to here? If it's funny, I lose my spot all the time here. Swift driver, here we go. All right, giveaway. I'm way off. GP Transco was friendly and kind to me, a non-employee. They gave you a tour. Oh, good. That's pretty good. What did you think of the operation going on over there? TJ Jones, it's funny they expect to clean while in the truck, but if you're new, you get assigned a company and it's trashed. Yeah, they sign you a truck and it's a disaster, but they expect you to clean it. Omar, the Yang Gang is here for 2020. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and thank you for being here from the Yang Gang. He's heading up in the polls, right? 3,000 a week. It turns out it was $10.99. They said no loads less than 220 miles, and they're taking loads at $1.84. It would be no problem getting drivers. All they'd have to do is post somebody's check for $3,000. You know. Nick, all right, guys, time to go to work. Someone has to buy dog food for your dog. All right, exactly. Depending what kind of dog, it might be a lot of it. Guy made a video about getting his trailer on Facebook stuck in a ditch. Then he also filmed that he accidentally locked his keys. Had to wait. Nice. And Sierra England fired him. That's sweet. Why would you make a video about that? See, here's a problem. Well, I guess you could make a video about it as like a kind of trucking fail video. But once you put your company name in your videos, then you start making this. You go, look at all the bad things I did. That's a problem, okay? And your company can fire you for that. So that's another good reason to consider whether you really want your company in your trucking video. That's all I'm saying. Now, I don't know why they fired him. I mean, stuff happens there at England and everywhere else. So I wouldn't fire you for that kind of two things like that. Is Justice Truck Lines in Hendersonville a good company? Let's see what people think about that. Swift lets you take home time wherever you want. Good. I mean, what's the difference? They know where you live. He was a walking gardener. Does not have a camera facing out or the driver. Good. I'm surprised at that place. Joshua says 3,000 a week is DPT. Yeah, he's got somebody going on over there at 3,000. Never can find the name of the company. Turns out they were. You are correct about the money. Definitely not fun anymore. And thanks. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, look, money isn't everything. Okay, money can't buy. If you're stressed, that's what I think. If you're stressed every day, my stepfather hated going to his job. He died in his early 60s. But he hated working at the mill. Okay, so we had a new Mercury every 2 years, Colony Park. I got to go to Disney World. Is that worth it? I mean, not to me. It isn't worth it to me. I'm not going to go to a place where I hate it every day because it pays more money, so I'm not doing it. Companies should absolutely have hiring freezes, keeps the market from flooding. Absolutely, because what did they say here? Swift came out and said they lowered their guidance because of overcapacity in the market. There's too many trucks. Absolutely. Swift said that. Our guidance that their profit isn't going to be as high because there's overcapacity. Right, there's too many trucks. More companies need to go out of business. What? Yeah, there's too many trucks, so the rates aren't good enough to support the profits. Absolutely. Less trucks, more money for everybody that's left. Well, Bill says, your company took the sun visor out to make room for the camera. I love it. I will say this, that another driver wrote to me, an astute driver, that their company was installing cameras and they were locking the passenger visor up so you couldn't use it. And so I looked it up. I go, really? I looked up at the FMCSA. It turns out you're not required to have a passenger side visor. So it's not a DOT requirement. So there's nothing that could be said about it, really. Someone harassed the chunky monkeys in the office. That's one of the employee handbook. Oh, there we go. That me out. You got to go watch a video, too. Mark Maples from Dread Pirate. What's Mark Maples? Where's the sunglasses for his updates on the 3,000 a week job? In my honor. Oh, I appreciate that. That's pretty good. Is that his name? Great Plains Trucking out of Florida. I never see it. I love the glasses, right? The only thing the dispatchers manage is my loads. You manage the delivery times and home every weekend. Pay is good and benefits are good. Yeah. If pay good, benefits are good, and you like working there, isn't that worth something? Oh my gosh. Is Trucker's Coach here today? Thank you for service. I don't know. He just posted a video, so haven't seen him here. Otherwise, what's going on, Trucker's Coach? I would not be teaming with someone that smokes weed. Well, there's another thing. I think if the other person in your truck is smoking weed every day, you may want to get out of that truck. So we don't want that. Everybody talks bad about Western, but I got 3 tattoos for my trainer. All right. Look, I send people to Western if they have a problem. It's not the highest pay. It gets a ton of bad reviews. The motel, I have pictures of the motel. Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously? I mean, I'd rather sleep outside than I think in that motel from the pictures that I saw. But if you need a place that you can't go anywhere else, and you can't find the A-team, you can go to Western Express. Caleb is late. There's demerits for that. Thanks for being here. And I appreciate you coming in. Red Monkey Trucking. Oh, I saw that. Oh, that's the first sticker. So, right, that's super great. Thank you very much for that. That's YouTube put that up there. There's stickers on the thing. I didn't have anything to do with it. They sent me a message about it. It's new stickers. So that's awesome. Thank you very much. Jeff worked in the steel mills for 20 years and hated every minute of it, breathing the acid and 100 other chemicals. Your health and happiness. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you worked at the mills. Okay, we had good money, but is that, he died early. Part of it is probably the chemicals. I agree with you. And part of it is probably stress. You just hate, if you hate most of your day, work is most of your day, what's the point of that? There's no point in it, right? Dave and Catherine were on Smart Trucking and were inundated with roller wiener comments. Roger Pensky. Oh my gosh, I wrote this down. Michael Muller, who's not here today. I did write this down here too. He was repping the roller wieners and trucking answers on Smart Trucking in the comments, and I really appreciate it. And I went it because he said, check this out. There are a bunch of roller wiener comments. I mean, I just can't. It's just so, I don't even know what to say. It was super awesome, super honest. Truck Hershey said that was funny. They found out about Roller Wiener Monday. It's so awesome, right? So awesome. Demerits from Bryan College Station, Texas. Raining good here, says Brucey. Yeah, at least it's rain and not snow, right? Kenneth P., good afternoon. Getting a 30 for a reset in Michigan for the storm. They're going to get 6 inches. South Bend says 5 to 10 inches of snow. Detroit, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Crazy. Any tips for a new driver driving in snow? I drive a hazmat tanker in Ohio. Yeah, the one main thing about snow, which I did write down here, is if you don't think it's safe, park. And it doesn't matter if everybody else is driving. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. It doesn't matter. It's all you, right? If you don't think it's safe, park. That's for everybody. I don't care what your company says. I don't care what anybody says. People are driving. It doesn't matter. A lot of people drive unsafely in bad weather. If it's not safe enough for you at your experience level to drive, especially a hazmat tanker, oh my God, park and wait it out. Well worth it. Your life's not worth, whatever's in your tanker, certainly. Who remembers the good old days of a 290 Cummins and a Super 10? Oh my gosh, I have some trucks here. Could that have been in this truck here? Let's try this one. Maybe. How about this 1977 International? That might have been featured in that vehicle with numerous license plates on the front of it, right? 290. I had some low horsepower engines as well. Not mated with a Super 10, which would have been, I probably still wouldn't be doing the show yet. I'd still be on my way home, but still, absolutely. Trucker Hershey, I'd make a good trucking company owner. I hope so. I hope I would, right? Thank you. You'll send Red Monkey Trucking to send an email about GP. Yeah, I'd love to know what the story was over there for teaming. I didn't even know they did teams. Rich says, I might want to take over for Dave Nemo or need tires. You would be perfect. Oh, that's awesome. Write him a letter, Other people have said, go on XM, a few people. I don't know. That might be super interesting. You know anything about Z Transportation? Yeah, Z. I've heard of Z Transportation. Aren't those the ones in Jersey? Where they only pay, some of your empty miles aren't paid. There was some kind of problem with Z. Transforce, is that a temp service? Is that trans drivers down in Indianapolis? Jason, less than 30 miles an hour in snow or time. Yeah, slow it down. And if it's unsafe, park it. And the unsafe is determined by you, not anybody else. Don't let anybody else determine what is safe to drive. Never. You decide what is safe, period. And hold your ground on that. My company, which is a lot of companies, have a policy that if you say it's unsafe, you can park, no problem. Nobody gives you a problem. They've never given me any grief about it, and I'm not some driver out here driving around in all the snow, all right? I'm parked. If it's bad out, I park it. So don't think like, oh, I'm driving. No, I park it. You have to use your pass side visor to block the sun most days. Yeah, they can just screw that up on the, or take it down. It's not illegal. Sierra England and triple bed trucks. It's official. Your former employer has fallen off the cliff. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? An astute viewer sent me that video about that truck. It's got a pole that sticks up and the air goes back and forth up in the top. Oh my gosh. Trucking Journey's got a brand new Pete 579 Ultra Loft, less than 20,000 miles, and your radio is fried. You're going to take it to the shop. Yikes. What do they put? Is Chinese radios going in these things? You're also going to get a Super 10 put in it. Oh, that would be really something. That would make your day pretty much very slow and horrible. Really, really slow shifting. Have you ever had a Super 10? Western Express recruiter calls every day asking if you're interested in working for them. They pay $4.50 a week. Oh, well, are you interested in working for them at that kind of money? Does the visor help block out the Bendix system? It helps block out the camera that faces in. That's why they do it. The inward-facing camera is generally under where the visor is at most of these companies. Trucker Hershey Buffalo in east 6 to 10 inches. I know. The northern, north of 80, maybe 80 or so, and north, going to get some snow. I came as a level 1 driver. Wouldn't be overcapacity contradict a driver shortage? Yes, absolutely, because there has never been a driver shortage that I've known about. It's all a big lie by the ATA, absolutely. There's certainly no driver shortage. They're hiring. Trucking added jobs in October, absolutely. I did 35 and a 65 with your flashers on and buck cheeks tightened. Yeah, we've all been at that kind of thing, right? And then that's where you got to decide, am I going? Am I parking? It's each person's got their own level. Eventually, you're going slow enough where it's not even worth driving. It's so frustrating. It's so mind-numbing to try to stay 100% like that and drive in that kind of weather. It's just better to park it. Do you think the driver could fail a random for being around the pot? Yeah, in the truck, I think you probably could. I think. Get that side smoke. Drove the truck when they were new. Yikes. You did? I've seen these kind of, all right, well, how about this kind of international? And how about this one? Here's a 69 International cab over with the gigantic sleeper and cab air conditioning. How about that? Added in on that one. Cab air conditioning up top. Check it out, right? Pretty sweet. That's what people were driving. That's why trucking is better now than it was then. Put a bunch of four-wheelers on the roads, the safety factor goes down. Oh, of course. People are out driving. They have no idea. Oh, they're like, oh, I'm in a Tahoe. I can go as fast as I want. It's four-wheel drive. My company's installed the inward-facing camera on the dash. Oh, really? I haven't seen a dash-mounted one. Who makes that? Who's the manufacturer of that camera that's putting it on the dash? I haven't seen that kind because the dash one, it can't face outside. So what's the story on that? CRST, third day driving during training in the LA area. Trainer goes in bunk and you're solo. Yeah, isn't that awesome? Well, you had 3 days already. I mean, geez. Did you say $4.50 a week? Sign you up. Isn't that some good money? Alexandra, what's going on? It's good to see you here today. Dragon Sup finally made a live show. Rolling to Delano, California for a produce load. Sweet. They said that the West Coast was getting a lot of loads right now because I have the loads from DAT here. Load posts are up 16%. They're up 16%. How about that? Trucking journeys finally in Illinois on 90 headed towards Chicago. Yikes. Down the Indianapolis, then over to Dayton. All right. You're going to go through the whole snow all day then. Tonight it's supposed to be really cold here. We're looking at 11 degrees, so any road that doesn't dry out quickly is going to freeze. You got a new tractor today over the cancer. That's awesome. All right. Where's it going? Where are you headed? And great. I'd rather get percentage pay than keep being paid 36 cents. Ugh. 36 cents mastermind. You need to join a mastermind, a trucking mastermind. That's really low. I mean, look, we got Melton just raised training pay for students to 46 cents. So that's pretty good. Mary Art, thank you for being here. And town roads are just wet. All right. That's awesome. But snowing, yeah. I think the roads aren't going to be bad yet. But, give it another, say, 7-8 hours here. We're going to be down to 20 degrees. So be ready for that tonight if any of you night drivers, the healthy highwayman. How about that? All right, yo. Roller arena, something pass you physically? Yes. All the chemicals in them and the preservatives kind of preserve you right there. When you start eating them, that's the age you stay because of all the preservatives and all the other words on the package that you can't read. They preserve you. You pass your physical. Smart Drive dash camera facing in and another on the windshield. So they have two separate Smart Drive. I wonder who makes that. I'll have to look that up. I'm going to write that down right here. Smart Drive. I wonder if that's a Lytix product. Do you know if that's its own brand? Because it would seem like it would cost more money to have two cameras like that. I guess this way you can't block that one. I might hang my coat on it or something. Percentage, what if the load pays 1,000, they take a load for 600? That's the problem, right, Trucker Hershey? That's always my problem with percentage. What if they take a load to move the truck somewhere that pays 70 cents a mile? They go, well, that'll pay our fuel or whatever, and you get, you're at 30%, that's 21 cents a mile. You just can't control it. I guess if rates go up, you have the other side of it, though, that you can control, which is, say they get $3 a mile, you'd be getting 90 cents a mile. So I don't know if they're shaving it. I don't know. Saw a couple cars off the road in Salt Lake City, in St. Louis, Salt Lake City. St. Louis, yeah, first big snow. Everybody with a four-wheel drive is going to be flying off the side of the road. Luke is joining late today. Had a wine delivery. Hate delivery, 70 and sunny in McLean, Virginia. Wine delivery, nice. What's the problem with those deliveries? Driving up from Indiana, I see 3 salt trucks, not a flake. Get to Michigan, they got 3 inches, no salt trucks. I will say Friday, Kenneth B, Friday here, they put down a ton of liquid salt, but I'm sure it's gone by now. Ohio's right on the stress. There's no big deal of working for a ton of money if you're stressed out every day and hate your job. I don't think that's a great way. Go make money some other way. Hey, what's going on? It's good to see you here today. Roger, global warming for out there. Yeah, I wish it was right here. They're sending you to the Dakotas or Minnesota, from what I understand. I asked for the cold route. Well, you got it. And it's snowing and everything, so you get right back into it. Holy moly. Although not a lot of people like to go there, so you actually might end up with better miles. James, you told the Western Express recruiter you got a job at a different company that pays twice as much. But he still calls you. He goes, don't worry, we'll get him. They called us, so we'll get him eventually. US 20 West in Ohio. Do you know any companies that give out signing bonus to experienced drivers? Yeah, a lot of them do, right? A lot of companies give sign-on bonus. I don't think it's ever a good idea to change companies for a sign-on bonus, though, because the bonus is the one-time thing. Get the company that suits you, that will pay you what you want, rather than the bonus. Unless, I guess, you're going to stay there a year and then move on. Used to have to drive an hour and a half to morning delivered. Drove closer today, so 15 minutes away. Have to drive to STL after. Yeah, that's a long morning commute to just make your delivery. LTI pays $2,500 for driver sign-on. That's good. But, of course, never change just for the sign-on. The 77 in International with the 290. Cummins and Super 10. Top B was 53. Why? What's the story with that? I mean, they can gear that even with the Super 10, right? What are you running? 456 isn't that thing? Something? We require a year and only run part of the country. All right. Most people live where trucking companies are. Although we always get somebody. Mark, I live at the edge of Idaho and Canada. What can I do? Not much. Smart Drive own trunking, and you have third camera that faces out. That's for the Zonar to read the speed limit signs. Holy crap. Zonar? So we have Zonar now? Reads the signs? Oh, because you can get in trouble if you're going too fast. Our ones that I've seen that people have sent in from Lytics say that if you go over a certain speed on a road, but it's based on GPS. So now if they can read the speed limit sign, I guess you have to go the speed limit. Wine deliveries you have to unload with an electric pallet jack, and they take a long time. 2 hours for 18 pallets. Yikes. Local $22 an hour straight time, but paid for everything. $40,000 to $50,000 a week. That's pretty good, right? $50,000 home every day, off weekends. Michigan doesn't use salt; they spread sand. Oh, right. So Sanders, and that's at least it's better for your car a little bit. Mary, have a good show. See you soon. All right. Thank you very much for being here today. Ohio JG12 here. Yeah, mean. Oklahoma City is 26 with 35 to 40 mile an hour winds. Oh, that's super great. That is about a horrible day. I hope everybody has all their winter gear with them. You got big raindrops and wind rocking the truck. Love it. Lots of jobs on. I got a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Some places are $10,000, but that's still never a great reason to change, I don't think. Why do local drivers act like they know everything? I don't know. I would be what's considered a local driver. I don't know everything. Are there local drivers that are like know-it-alls? In my area, a lot of jobs pay great, but it's hauling frac sand and water or flatbed. Frac sand, I still think the oil fields in that are probably some of the best pay going. If there's no loads, you don't get paid anything. The only downside. But that's always the downside on percentage too, right? Usually you only get paid if you have a load. There's always a downside, but what's your average a week for the whole year? Good afternoon. Big rig truck drivers. Even though you're not a truck driver yet, one day you will find that golden truck job and join the ranks. Time to shake and bake. Well, thanks for being here, and let's get you in a truck. Speed limit back then was 55. That's true, right? Speed limit 55, but I mean, geez. I mean, I've had some low horsepower trucks that would still roll more than 53 miles an hour. I don't know everything, but I know I don't work for free. Guys need to stop that, and the companies will have to pay you for everything. That's true. I mean, it's usually road drivers that are doing a lot of work that they don't get paid for. There's some, but how about this truck too, right? All right, I got that truck too. 1940. This is trucking in 1940. Look how far we've come in 70 years. All right, that's a 1940. Would people drive that today? They would, but not for a living. Yikes. That's something. 1940. Michigan uses salt. Maybe it depends on where it is. Cents per mile is trash. Look, the whole system of cents per mile and all this stuff, it should end. There's no reason for it. Just pay people for all of their time. I think that's a better way to do it. Then you have cents per mile, layover, detention, hourly pay for this, breakdown pay, all this other kind of goofy stuff, right? And it's got 40 different levels on your paycheck. You got $3 for this, $17 for that, $12 for this, 7 stops at this. Oh my gosh, just pay people for their time. How much easier is that to do? But companies don't like to do that because they'd have to pay you if you weren't working. It would be on them to make sure that you had work to do. Todd, yes, knowing that I'm parked, I'm not worried about my driving abilities. It's everybody else. That's always the problem. There's always some goofball in a four-wheel drive that thinks, oh, I can just blast right along. I have four-wheel drive. It's not like that. Of course, we all know that, but they don't, and then you have a problem. But I do see people like that in the winter. Everybody sees that. Somebody's on the interstate, they're going 20 miles an hour, or they're going 15. If you're going considerably less than traffic also, you're a big hazard in the bad weather. It's hard enough to drive, and you're going 20, 30 miles an hour under everybody else. And if that's all you can do, that's fine. But let's get that thing parked so that everybody is safe on the road. Mastermind, you have a year of experience with a total of 4 carriers. Yeah, expend a Titan, transfer 7 months. Well, so you had 3 carriers in the first few months. I was told by a fellow company driver, we're supposed to start out at a higher, but got 36 cents the first day. Well, go in there and talk to him and say, what's the dealio here? I need some money. I mean, 36 cents, if you got 7 months, let's get you some money. Tell them, look, Melton's 46 cents for a student. All right, so they're way low. Let's get you some money going. What's up? Reporting from Texas. Glad to see you. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So so you have a year of experience anyway. All right, so if they won't start dealing it, maybe more than 36 cents, it may be time to move on to your 5th carrier. But find a place and stay there. Don't just pick the first place that'll say, hey, come over here, right? Find a place that suits you and then stay there. That's a big key to making decent money in trucking. You know how everything works, you get way better at it. Would have switched even without the sign-on bonus. Was worth it for the overtime. Yeah, sometimes it's worth it. The sign-on is never a good reason. With the overtime, hey, worth it. Have to go back to the warehouse to pick up another trailer of wine and head to Fredericksburg, Virginia. At least they're keeping you busy. You drive it to truck shows. Yeah, that's where it was, and I think that's the only place that truck goes now. I don't know what the top speed of that truck in 1940. There weren't hardly any there was no interstates. Eisenhower was not doing the interstates yet, so that's a real problem. Cash is king trucking. Now that winter's here, remember, don't eat the free lemon snow cones. Oh, some people hand those out. Yeah, those aren't great. 4-wheel drive means 4 wheels slipping on the ice. You get to watch a display and see all 4 spinning. I'm in the mess on 80. Countless SUVs, 3 semis wrecked. Where's all this going? Where's this mess on 80 where everybody's wrecked so we can get that out there? Is your steer tire at 430 seconds? I hope so. I hope people have checked their tread and everything. Trucking journeys. Here's a convenient fact that most large companies want to ignore. A place like Smith Transport, some weeks you make $700, some weeks you make $2,000. If you took your whole year, right, what would you make over a year? Exactly. If they'd pay you a salary, you'd probably get paid less overall than when I get paid now, on the cents per mile. So the company would be saving money by paying you a salary. They would. Companies that pay a salary, they might save money. It depends. But what if they paid you hourly? That's what I'm saying. For all your work time. That's what I've always thought would be the best way to pay. And so you make 2,700. What is your average? And so we could see, how many average hours do you work, and we can see what your average hourly income is. I don't understand how companies don't see that. Well, a lot of people would prefer a salary, maybe. What's up, Mark? Greetings from South Jersey. Andrew, what's happening? Ohio has 2 incomes. That's even better, right? If the weather is bad enough that you need 4-wheel drive, just don't go out at all. Front-wheel drive should be good. It depends where you are, I guess. But yeah, right. If you're getting stuck, the wife's got all-wheel drive, so she's using it all the time, I suppose. Pay by the mile load needs to be outlawed. Encourage drivers to take unnecessary risks, certainly. When will the DOT look into it? Part of the thing from last week that we talked about as the more accidents, the FMCSA and the DOT, there were more truck accidents in the last year than there were the year before, and they blamed it on the ELD. Well, really, the ELD is only a part of it. It's pay, right? Because if you sit somewhere and you're not paid, everybody or many people will take a risk and say, well, I need to keep driving or whatever, when maybe they really shouldn't be. And that isn't, or I'm going to speed, I'm going to go a little too fast. You're pushing it because you're not getting paid. There's too much time where you're not being paid. There shouldn't be any time that you're not paid if you're at work. If a 15-year-old at McDonald's gets paid for all our time, I don't think it's anything like we're asking for anything crazy, or at least I'm asking for it. Not all collisions are clear-cut. That's the only issue you have with the camera. I agree. That's why you should run your own dash cam so you have a wider view of what happened. The camera's only a few seconds, 20 seconds or whatever. What if you had 2 minutes of video? We can know everything that came up to that. So I think even with their camera, you should have your own footage of what happened all day. Don't eat the mocha frappe snow cones. Those are free too. 17 degrees, 18-mile-an-hour winds in beautiful Minneapolis. Oh, hopefully you're looking out your front window at that only. Greetings from Cigar City. Where is Cigar City? Who is Cigar City? I don't know where I would have to look up to see where Cigar City is. So the DAT load posts are up 16%. Vans, $1.80. Flats, $2.17. And reefers, $2.11. So sweet. So is that good money? Yeah, DAT says, hey, that's not bad, and you can make money doing that. So Vans, $1.80. Flats are $2.17. Reefer is $2.11. I always like to put that out there. People always say, what are the rates? So there you go. Give them a bottle of wine for being a loyal viewer. Oh, right. Here I go, and it turns out somebody's 14 or whatever. Well, we're doing live from jail today, right? Oh, Tampa, Cigar City. Do they make cigars in Tampa or something? I probably average 80 hours a week. Yikes. Because you run your 70 and then run recaps. You get paid an average of $1,500. Well, see, so 80, so that would be 40 hours of overtime. 40, that's 60, and 4, that's 100. That's $15 an hour straight time. Okay? Think about it like that. Okay? So at 80 hours, you'd have 40 hours of overtime, which would be time and a half for 40 of those hours. That would give you a total of 100 actual hours of pay, and that's $15 an hour. When we look at it like that, I don't think that's great. $1,500 for 80 hours is seriously only $15 an hour. Now, Target here is at $12 an hour for teenagers. So this is the problem with trucking, in that it seems like it pays good. It really doesn't. That kind of money should pay, probably double that, or certainly, at $20 an hour, it would pay $2,000. So $23 an hour is $2,300, and $23 an hour is not like to be asking for a lot of money, but at that rate, that's $15 an hour. You're getting new batteries installed and then going to North Carolina. Oh, that's interesting, Cash King. Are they doing that because of the lease? I'm curious about that. Does that cover everything that's included in the truck, or is it still under warranty? Ruben, I'm a trainer with Werner, and they work us like team drivers. Team drivers, right? Hopefully team drivers. Definitely look into quit. Don't feel safe with your student driving, and I'm sleepy. Not the best way to get trained. I know. These companies, and Werner gets sued for this tons of times and loses, and they continue to do it. I don't understand why they're doing that. It just doesn't read with me. If you're teaming and you're in training, you're not being trained. The student should say, look, what is going on here? Of course, they don't know or don't want to get fired or whatever. I get that. But, why are the trainers doing that? That's not training. It's just all about money. Trucking Journeys would like Cassius King to stop by and feed his dog. David, what's going on? Lay it out there for everybody. Can't run recaps during the same week. If you're doing 70 hours, that would be 8 days. You'd get a 30 for a break, I suppose, stuffed in there. Tampa has a several central tradition of rolling cigars. Used to smoke them all the time. Oh, okay, well, so Tampa's Cigar City then. I guess I had no idea. Did anyone have Omnitracs problems? I wrote down. Omnitracs said they're back up and running. They have the system back up. Is anyone running Omnitracs, and are they really back up this week and up and running? They were down for a while. Everybody was freaking out and having to go grab their paper logs. But Omnitracs said that they are back up and running. I couldn't believe people had to go get a paper log. Maybe had to stop in the TA. They couldn't believe it. They're like, what? I have to use a paper log? What the heck is that? Apparently you did have to use a paper log, but Omnitracs says they're back up now. Every day I do an extra hour on PC. That's not, so is that time you're not being paid for then? Seriously? Because is that what reduces your average? See, that's interesting. I mean, that reduces your average to $15 an hour. That isn't great. Trucker issue years never had an error. They said, okay, Omnitracs did say there was one model that did not have problems, but all the rest of their models did go down. It was a huge news story. Thousands. Schneider, almost all of Schneider went down apparently because they use them. Tons of drivers were without electronic logs for a while. Took the truck in for PM service, batteries tested, so Peterbilt's replacing 8. Okay, good. Oh, wow. EPU batteries as well. Nice. How much would, okay, this is a good question for you. How much does 8 batteries cost? What's that saving you? Imperial says your MCP 200 was messed up. Right. Is it back running again? On the ELD, what if they just get rid of the 14-hour clock? Would that help? Wouldn't help me. I mean, here's the thing. How many hours do you want to work a day? How about that? Isn't 14 hours enough to make a living? That's more than half of the day spent working for somebody else. I mean, no, I'm out for that one. Holy mackerel. Mavericks people that went to crap and you had to go to paper logs. Are they part of the Omnitracs deal then too? You have Omnitracs, but it had the newest version, so you never went down. They said their new one worked, but for some reason there was some flaw in the old models, 3 or 4 of them, and a ton of people were without for a while. What's your position on the hypocrisy of being able to get plastered at home drinking and then go drive, but can't even smoke a blunt on home time? Word up to that. And home time less risk getting fired. I think that, here's what I think about it. If it's a law, then you got to follow it. I mean, that's the problem with the laws, because Indiana is real big on this. People get pulled over all the time. You get stopped for drugs or whatever. And then there's always a ton of people commenting, oh, here we go again, police wasting their time. It's a law. It's simple as that. I personally don't think people should drink or smoke blunts on their free time. But, that's just me. Would I stop people from doing it? No. But that is the law. And what I'd allow is just have companies say you can do that or not. Maybe that would be a better way to do it. But I know, I mean, as the law, it's kind of, is it hypocritical? Maybe, because they don't have a good test for it other than that. It is the law, though. Cassius King said, your Omnitracs is still acting goofy. And goofy is the technical term. Yeah, when you go into the shop and they look that up, and that's a code, right? That's one of the codes that goes, oh, this is acting goofy. And they look at it. People, that's not great. I've heard it isn't good. I've never used it. One of my fellow drivers for a bad airline, even though it wasn't leaking, just had a smudge. That's Maryland for you. Yeah. They go, that's good enough. We're going to write you up for that. Sorry, I had to run and place a request for a new CB installed. Nice. They'll install your CB for you. Are they providing the CB too? Ruben, I would much rather be able to run my clock parallel with my students. I'd be a trainer for 2 months, not what I expected. Unfair to the students, and like you said, it put your career at stake. Put your career at stake, but really what it does is it puts the student's career at stake. When people are not trained properly at a company, no matter what the company is, they're much more likely to quit not only that job, but the entire industry. Because they get out on their own. How frustrating would the job be with all the laws and everything, and you have any training, you don't have any idea what you're doing. The job's very frustrating. You're like, forget this. Or they end up getting fired because they're late and stuff like that, but it's because they weren't trained properly by the company. When the people have those problems, it's a company management, it's a training problem. It isn't your fault. That's what they want you to do there. Werner shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't be allowing it. They shouldn't do it. The law should be, in my opinion, that if there's a student, the company considers you a student, then they need a trainer sitting next to them on duty. Otherwise, if they're not going to, and if they're paying you like a student, otherwise you should be on your own. If you look up behind with the CB radios, there's at least any E-log system typically will use PeopleNet router to connect to the cell phone tower. Oh, really? Oh, that's where we need to clip the wires then? Even our Qualcomm's use the PeopleNet cell phone router. Oh, all right. If anyone has any suggestions on companies I should look into, yeah, it depends where you live and there's a lot of factors to it. It's like a real boy, no PeopleNet is not with them. We got upgraded to ELDs and our tablets couldn't handle it every time it's getting new ones. Some places buy these $43 tablets or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. Companies cheap things become very expensive things later as you go along. I have to tell these shippers that I have to abide by the hours of service, and there'll be nothing that I can do to show up on time for delivery. Shippers don't care, of course, and I don't know if they should, right? It's your company that should really handle all that stuff. But yeah, the shippers certainly don't care. They're like, okay, right? They don't care. Ironically, they're getting paid. So at the shippers. What I meant is run the drive time at 11 hours that you can stop if you're a shipper and so on without running out the time of the day. Well, you can already stop your drive time when you're at a shipper, right? So you're not driving anymore. But I don't want to extend my day past 14 hours. Alexandra purchased the CB, but they'll install it. I'm about as intelligent as a rock. Well, this would be an easy install, but look, if they'll do it, I'd be totally in, right? Let them do it. I agree. The snow is already passed through Chicago on its way to you. Yeah, it's snowing here. It's not going to be a big snow. They said it's supposed to end by 6 or so, 6:45 tonight. Nothing wide. It'll be warm again next week. This isn't going to be a big deal, but it's going to affect the roads, and people should be careful. First snow is always the worst snow. Oh, that rhymed, too. That's great. I got to send that to M&M. See if I can get some royalties. I told the shipper if you're going to take a long time to load, after they load, you're going to park the truck stop and wait to your reset. What did they say about that? What does the shipper think about you saying that? I'm curious. Justin says Omnitracs is back up. That's what they were saying, right? But your logs will be incorrect if your company has put your paper logs on top of your ELD. Sweet. They're supposed to enter your paper logs too. I'm a mentor for my route at Werner that have shown new guys the route, and the trainers don't teach them anything. They just want to make money. Of course. That's the problem. They get people to train, but not for the right reason. People are training because they want the money. They're like, oh, money. And you can't ever do something for money. You do something that you love, and then the money comes to you later. That's what I think anyway. That's Motivation Monday. But you can't go into it thinking, I'm going to make money, because you're not going to be any good at it, okay? And you don't really want to do it. You just want the money. Go do something you want to do, and then money comes to you. How easy is that? But they need people that want to teach people a life training skill. You're going to change somebody's life that comes to you that's broke. My car's getting repossessed. I'm like, let's get you trained up and let's get you out here making money. That's what you're doing. You're changing somebody's life. You get paid later. Don't worry about it. People don't realize how that stuff works. David, would I haul doubles? I have hauled doubles, and yes, I would do it again. Absolutely. I'd happened to work out years ago. I hauled doubles. A driver was off. They go, oh, a driver hauls doubles on his route. He's off. Can you go do it? I'd never hauled doubles. Okay, I had the endorsement. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely right. I go, I haven't done it for a while. That's what I told them. So if maybe the guy that's there could show me for a couple minutes. Yeah, he showed me how to hook them up or whatever, and that was it. And I hauled doubles. So absolutely, I would do it. Yes, the follow-up first one, and the second one follows the first one. Certainly. Just looked up Melton pay. It says top base pay 57 cents. My question is, what are Melton's miles? Does anyone know? Yeah, they're going to tell you probably 2,500. It'd be interesting to see from a driver that's there what exactly it is. Get rid of the 70. Get rid of all the on duty. Joshua, I'm out for that. I mean, holy mackerel. How many hours do I want to work? I'm somebody that doesn't want to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week anymore. I think drivers should get paid more rather than working more. Caleb, I met a tour new guy about 2 weeks ago from Werner, and he didn't even know what a 30-minute break was, just off the trainer's truck. Yeah, because a lot of trainers don't teach anybody anything. They're just there to double their miles. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Your dad and you were debating the most strict truck state. I said it's California. I never had any problems in California. I've been in there many times. They never gave me any grief in California of all states. Dad says Ohio, maybe. They seem to be open a lot over there. On and off duty, 14 hours a day total. Oh, but you could split, like take 3 or say 4 hours off. But that makes for a long day. If you start at 6 in the morning and sometime during the day you take 5 hours off, you could still be driving at 11 at night. So that's the thing. You're going to be really tired at that point. Joe wants to know what I think about a possible new drink, roller wiener coffee, served hot and not so fresh. Oh, that's good. Iced. Could we get it iced too? That would be even better. We have this. We already have this, the Boost. So, which is a roller wiener with extra caffeine. So I'm not sure. Maybe the coffee one wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, carbonated coffee flavored meat drink. Yeah, that sounds actually delicious. It's the trainer's fault why they're running team. The trainer's letting their dispatcher running them like that. Your trainers at Werner had the choice to run the truck as a team or in training, Andrew. Oh, good. What would the trainer make if he ran it as a solo? Let me ask you that. What does Werner pay a trainer if they're running the truck as a solo driver? Wicked TV Dinner Monday. Thanks for coming in. Mastermind, you live in Georgia. What's G&P doing down there, right? I like to send people down there. It seems to be a really good place. Also, CCC is down in the southeast there, certainly. Another place to call. 57-footer east of the Mississippi. What do I think? I mean, those came years ago. I've been seeing them for years. They make them right here at Wabash and take them up to the railroad. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be any problem. Kind of did the same thing when we went 48 to 53-footers, right? Everybody then was like, oh, 53-footer, too long. Now everybody uses them. These will come also. I don't think it'll be any problem. Before they wasted 3 hours, I wondered about this. I told them the story. I'm going to park at the truck stop for 10 hours, and all of a sudden they started loading me. Really? All right. I'm surprised. Some places are like, well, tough luck, get lost, right? Wicked TV Dinner. Thanks, veterans. It is Veterans Day. Thank you to all veterans out there. And all veterans, be sure to get your free meal there at the J or Pilot. What, you got a breakfast sandwich and a drink or something for a couple days? Yep. You have to download it on the app, though. Get their app. I saw it, right. Mark, you don't know what you're talking about. Right. I have no idea. Download the app. Veterans get a free thing. I don't know how you prove it or whatever. Alexandra, most trainers at mega carriers don't actually train new drivers. They just want their extra coin. That's exactly correct, and that's not the reason to do anything for money, really, like that. You do that kind of thing with training, and then the money comes later. But the trainers, in their defense, if they don't do it that way, they don't get paid anything. And so they certainly should be paid. You're changing somebody's life. Literally, you can change people's lives. That should be worth something to the company because that is what really you're doing. Roger Penske, no holiday pay for Martin Luther King Day. That's true. Most places don't pay for that. And I lost that. Groundhog Day, darn it. Valentine's Day, President's Day, Easter, Good Friday, Columbus Day, Black Friday. No Kim Jong-un Day either. That's the most disappointing part of it, really. 57-foot trailer and East Coast is insane. That is what they said about 53-foot trailers, right? And if you've seen these 57s, because they're sitting around town here, the slider for the tandems goes pretty far up. You can still do 41 feet slide, I think, on them. Alexandra's not a fan of Kim Jong-un Day. Maybe so. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans reading this. You appreciate the service, says Harwood the Watchful. Thank you very much for saying that. The barbecue trucker, you liked hauling doubles? Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, it's not that complicated. It doesn't take that long to hook them up. It wasn't really that hard. I don't know why people crash all the time with them, but it's not that hard to do. After I did it for a while, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. Ashley says, AB5 drive for independent contract. What will happen to me? Okay, well, what is going to happen to you as an independent contractor is you're going to have to become an employee. You're not going to be able to be an independent contractor. If you're an independent contractor driver, as a truck driver, you are being misclassified. If you're driving somebody else's truck, they pay the fuel and all that, you're already being misclassified. They're going to put the clamp down on that. Your company, I don't know if they'll do anything about it or not. The AB5 that we're talking about here mainly is for owner-operators, where you own the truck, and they're going to say no. Landstar and Schneider says, look, you have three choices. Move, get your own authority, or deliver in California without picking up in California, or become a company driver. That was their fourth choice. That's what the And Schneider and Landstar, those are big companies. That's what they're saying. But for drivers that are driving another truck and you're independent contractor, okay, you're not. You're an employee. Nomad Trucker says Melton was going 2,200 average a year ago. Well, 57 cents at 2,200 would still be an okay check, especially if you got some tarp pay and stuff. You're still at 70 grand. Central Ohio, you can keep the snow up north. Yes, please. That would be great. Is hauling doubles more difficult than a 53-foot single? Well, there's a little more work just in hooking the two of them up. Otherwise, I don't think so. I guess, the one I did, it was a regular route. You'd have to stop, and the freight you delivered was heavy, and it was always in the first one, so you'd have to unhook them and then back in with the first one, get delivered, they'd fill you back up, and then hook them back together, and then they went somewhere else. It's a little more work, not that much more, and it's no more difficult, I don't think. It's 75 and sunny in Vegas. That's great. That's just good to know. Nomad Trucker, backing is the big difference there. More difficult to back up. You won't be doing any backing. Do I think a trainer should be paid a salary? How long do you think the average newbie should be trained? I think it should be individual, certainly. Everybody learns differently. You can't just say 2 weeks and you're done, or 1 week or whatever. And the trainers should be paid a salary. They should be in the seat the whole time on duty. On duty while the trainee is driving. Then they could drive a few extra hours or whatever a day, but on duty, certainly. And it's up to the person. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the things you need to learn. Once they've learned them, then they can test out and get their license. For some people, it's going to be rather quick, right? No problem. They'll learn all the logs. Some people, they're going to need more time. You can take them more time and train those people longer, and then they'll stay in the industry too. Won't that be great? And if the trainer was on a salary, then he won't have any problem. He's going to get paid, or she, right, is going to get paid the whole time that the person's being trained. No problem. Trucker Hershey's doing 2,200 miles a week now, and it feels like you're part-time. Oh, my, but at 57 cents plus tarp pay and stuff, that's not terrible. Nomad Trucker runs 2,000 to 2,500. You're happy with that? You don't want to get too tired, right? Trainers should be paid a different way. Mileage is not the incentive for hands-on. Absolutely. If they got paid a flat rate every week, no matter the miles the truck ran, then bingo, you got somebody who will actually train. And I would also mandate that the student driving, the trainer must be on duty in that logbook and in the seat. Alexandra, I can bring in over 1,000 running 2,000 miles a week. Nice. I get the good freight in the winter because I'm willing to drive in the cold. I figured you'd get more freight headed north where people don't want to go. Yes, absolutely. And so that's pretty good money, right? And that's not super hard work, 2,000 miles a week, really. That is time for Gracie to decide. Take a cat break with Gracie. All right, there we go. There she went. She's back to sleep, of course. I would not want to drive anything along the 53-foot. I wish they'd go back to the 45 feet. There's some people here that drove the 45-footers with these kind of trucks. Let's see what else I got here. Oh, right, this truck, right? Where'd this thing go? How about that? Who remembers that thing plying the roads of America? They used to head on the roads all the time. We'd see them around. Kind of unusual to see a hood back then. I hear you grew up in New York, never going back. I agree with that. Standard pay is 42 cents for trainers. They get paid both drivers' miles, so good trainers mostly run like a solo. Well, they sit most of the time, but bad trainers run team. Well, they get paid for both. Oh, so they'd get 42 cents times 2,000 miles or whatever. But the thing is that they're getting paid for all the miles, so they have every incentive to team train there, and that's not training. What if instead of that, they just gave them a salary of $1,200 a week or whatever, $1,500 a week? Salary every week, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, doesn't matter. No teaming allowed. That might be better. So some weeks you get 1,500 miles, no problem. You're getting your $1,500. 2 trailers is a snaky mess. Keep them straight. That's the thing. They start wiggling, you got a problem. Michael worked for a mega carrier and trained a few guys over the summer. He took pride in showing them how the system worked, and by the time they got done, they will outback most newbies. That's good, right? You did a good job there, and you changed people's lives. They're not going to be frustrated when they go out. They're going to stay in the industry. I mean, you're changing lives, and that is what people do. I saw Frey Miller advertising something like they paid their drivers a nickel a mile for every mile the trainee drives for the first year. That's an interesting way to do it. I don't know. I never really liked that kind of thing, though. I can't control whether they stay after they leave my truck. If they don't get miles, I mean, I had no control over them getting miles, so it's not fair that they have to quit. They quit for whatever reason, that the company does something to them or doesn't do something for them, and I lose my bonus. I only like bonuses for people in any industry where the person is under control of how they get the bonus. Ruben says, Werner takes students off your truck after 3 weeks, even when you tell them that they weren't ready. They don't care because they're not in any, they don't care at all whether the person is trained or anything. They could care less, or that wouldn't happen. Roger, in the employee appearance section, really? They have an appearance section? I can dress for my gender identification. Does it really say that? Oh my God. Does it really say you can dress for your gender identification? I mean, your company went from, right, basically kneecapping people for not paying them back to like all total left California 100%. Trucking Journeys, are they trying to push our trainers to come out standard of 57 trailers? Yes. I was under the impression that most states had a law restricting. They did, but they had a law restricting lengths for this too. That's why you didn't see very many long-nosed trucks back then. There's a length law. So all they'll do is just change the length, no problem. 53 is too long. They should be 45. There were days of that, right? Doubles are known as wiggle wagons. Thank you to the veterans and the Royal Scottish Guard and French Foreign Legion. Yes, thank you to them as well. Doubles are easier. I know it depends what you're doing, right? I think it's a little more work to hook them up. Trainers should only team 8 hours each and shut down for 10. There shouldn't be any teaming with training. That's my take on it. Anybody have a take on bar none? I've always liked bar none. Are there any bar none drivers on? David says your company pays $90,000 to trainers first year. That's pretty good. I mean, is that a salary though? Are they getting a $90,000 salary? What have I heard about Pepsi and Coke driver positions? Yeah, well, Red Classic, which I had on the channel, did like a 2-hour live show with them last year or earlier this year, whatever, right? Red Classic, which is Coca-Cola. Yeah, absolutely. I would certainly recommend them. I don't know about Pepsi, but Red Classic, absolutely. Justin, I used to train, but I would not run team, but I would do super solo. 7 hours a student, 7 hours for you, and then 10-hour break. As long as we're not teaming that student, right? My MCP50 is still having issues. Really, Omnitracs had a thing. It was in the news. We've resolved all of our issues. So I don't know why yours is not. Omnitracs says that you're doing fine. No place to park in California. They had a thing that said I-81 was one of the worst interstates to park in. Apparently, they'd never been to the Northeast where there's like nowhere to park. There's not even any truck stops, but that's what they were talking about. I've tried 2 over-the-road companies and ended up quitting because you can't team drive with a trainer. Yeah, and you shouldn't have to. And so you quit, and they don't understand why. Oh, there's a trucker shortage. It's crazy. You like the color of that rig? Isn't that pretty nice? How about the color of this rig? Where's this one from? Does anybody remember this one? Holy mackerel. That's a blast from the past right there. It's the same style as this truck, it's the same style as this one right here, just with a different paint scheme. And there's that click, and there's that. Okay, there I go. All done at the customer, finally, right. I team trained when I was a trainer a long time ago. What did you think? Do you think people are getting good training if you are teaming? Hereward the Watchful, have a blessed day and drive safely. Thank you for that. We're going to need it today. Indiana was a snowy nightmare last night. Bad roads got better once you hit Minnesota. It's snowing here today, too, right? So it's not going to be any better. I team trained and quit. I was expected for trainer and student to run 6,000 miles a week. I know. It doesn't make any sense. It's super unsafe. It shouldn't be allowed. It should be illegal. What's the least favorite or thing you hate most to haul? Anything that takes a long time to be delivered. I mean, I'll haul most anything, really. It's the stuff that takes a long time to get out of the truck. Maybe a load something like potatoes, where the potatoes are put in a reefer carrots do the same thing. It seems like people that have hauled this, they just shoot them in your truck on a conveyor belt, and they're just laying there on the floor of the reefer. And so then once you deliver them, there's 80 million potatoes stuck in the grooves of your trailer. You got to go get it washed out. That'd probably be the thing that's bothered me the most because it takes so much time. Not only do I have to wait in line at a potato factory here to get my truck dumped out literally on a ramp. If you've seen it, they lift the truck up on a ramp and dump your spuds out. From driving it, the weight of the potatoes crushes them all down into the grooves. And so then you have to go get 50 million potatoes washed out of the grooves. And so people that are walking behind the blue beacon thing, there's potatoes flying all over the place. It's a big mess. You are a bar none driver. All right. What do you think? Would you recommend bar none to other people? What do you think about them? Doubles pull better unless they're empty and it's windy. Yeah, they can. You got to keep them straight, right? It's salary plus $500 upgrade bonus, another $500 if they're accident free the first 3 months. So that 90 grand is not bad, right? You're still at bar none since March. Average $1,700, $1,750 a week over the road. That's pretty good. That is a good thing right there. There's testimonial better than anybody could say. Rumple, thinking about trying your hand at flatbed. Any tips? Yeah, bring gloves. It's dirty. But I think it's a good mental workout. I always thought flatbed was a great mental workout. They put this puzzle on you, and you have to figure out how that puzzle is going to sit there as you take it all the way across the country. Doubles and a wagon wiggle and wagon triples are a wiggle wagon. I never did the third one. 2 months with them, never made less than $1,100 a week. That's really good. Smoking the Bandit. There's Alexander, first one. Right, exactly. I'm glad somebody remembered it. There's James Faust, Smoking the Bandit. Exactly. Towing doubles more difficult. I didn't think it was more difficult other than a little bit more work. You're still running a 48-foot flatbed. Adco, hello to wild and crazy guys and gals. No Steve Martin picture here. No mad trucker got a live backing into a dock. They pull and fold tarps, unload you, and then drop folded tarps on deck. Wow. Where is that going on? That never happened for me. Boy, hey, can you guys fold these up and put them back on for me? Holy mackerel. I live in Pennsylvania. I want to get your CDL. What carrier to look into based on your location? Yeah, I'd have to look into that. Who's out in Pennsylvania with a carrier that somebody could start at? And you should always look into the Department of Unemployment in Pennsylvania and see if they will pay for your truck school. Because some states do, and you don't even have to be unemployed to do it. So you can call them and say, hey, do you have any kind of truck school grants? Some of them do. You might be able to go to truck school for free, and that is super good. Then you get to decide where you want to go. You may dress according to their gender, identity, ethnicity, or personal standard. Really? Personnel standard. Identify as a roller window, a Chicago dog. That's incredible. They would write that in. So you could change it every day, and really there's nothing they could do about it. And I think that's the solution, that kind of ridiculous stuff. That's your all-time favorite? Exactly. What do you think about those socks instead of chains? I've never used them. Has anybody used the socks? I've never used them. They're relatively new, and I haven't needed to chain for some time. Has anybody used a sock? I think people do use them, and they do work. Will you be wearing relish? I would relish the thought of seeing that costume. Bar none is great pay, but we do work weird schedules. A lot of people say bar none is nights or whatever, but that would not bother me, I guess, so that's why I didn't notice it. You are what you eat. The time I hauled loose potatoes, they had put down plastic, and it wasn't bad. Oh, I didn't get that. They just had a conveyor that went all the way in your truck, and potatoes went in, and they continued to move the conveyor out, and that was it. And so by the time you delivered them, they'd spread out everywhere, certainly. And every groove all the way up the truck had 50 million potatoes stuck in it. Mental and physical workout on the flatbed. You got to figure out how to keep that there. There's laws. You have so many feet in between, straps and chains that they can hold so much weight. It's a little bit more of a mental thought process. I was told bar none can trace their roots back to Freeport fast freight. Really? That's interesting. Where am I going off to? Oh, I'm lost my spot again here. So that is good. Georgia Pacific not allowed out of truck and can't untarp outside. We could untarp, but once you're in there, no one ever folded my tarp up for me. No one ever did that. Prime is a large terminal in Pennsylvania. That's true. I'm not huge on it because they do this team training thing. It's the same kind of thing. The Pennsylvania Department of Labor has a grant program to cover truck school. There you go. That is absolutely the way to go. Go to the Department of Labor, then in Pennsylvania, and go to truck school for nothing. Nevada can get you grants too. That'd be a thing to do there. Forgot today is Roller Wiener Day. Yes, every Monday is Roller Wiener Day. Put cardboard down. I never thought about it. When they're putting the potatoes in, I didn't really think about it, and I didn't have any cardboard either. So I guess I'd have to get cardboard. Never thought about it, but all the spuds. Wouldn't the spuds move around even more then if I put cardboard down? Alexander's transgender, but this social liberalism is a shield to offset honesty. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, you can't change every day. I guess under that policy you could. Under that policy you could theoretically change every day. You know, people should just be what they want. We don't need a program. Just come in the way you come in, right? Why do you have to decide it like that? I just thought all that they add stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It's called a WIA grant. Oh, all right. Each state has their own name for this stuff too. Every state has grants and stuff under different departments. Call around, no matter what state you're in, call first, and you generally do not have to be unemployed to use it. So that's well worth it. Well worth it, a lot of states. My dad made seafood mac and cheese. It makes an awesome road lunch. That would be better. If you get the socks, get the auto sock. Only one approved in Colorado. Has to be approved and all that stuff. Have you used them? And do they last? From what I understand, as soon as the snow, you get out of the bad weather, you need to take them off immediately. Later, Hosen, next Oktoberfest. All right. Bar None runs a lot of line haul for LTL companies, so you're picking up other trailers. That'd be good because it's probably a drop and hook. I looked into Bar None. Wasn't crazy about the slip seating. Nah. Wait a minute. Do they slip seat their trucks at Bar None? Where'd my Bar None drivers go? Are you slip seating a truck? All dress up Jesus for Easter. No name for MLK Day. Bar None limited slip seating. What does limited slip seating mean? Where's my how's that do? There's a no trucker shortage. There's a trucker shortage of good pay and respect. Yeah, there's no respect really from a lot of companies. So look, some companies treat everybody very well. There's tons of companies like that. It's these big companies that are out here that literally ruin it for everybody else. Okay, so you don't slip seat. People live in certain areas, but most people know. That's what I could imagine, that a company like that, a sleeper, because I'm not into slip seat a sleeper, certainly. No, even Bridget would not want to slip seat her sleeper. Absolutely not. What would Gracie think about slip seating? Not much, certainly. Would not think much about it. Wouldn't be impressed about it. Nobody wants slip seat a sleeper truck. Smith Transport donated one of our trucks and trailers to a Pennsylvania school run by a college. There's a video on the YouTube channel. All right. It's all logoed up, I'm sure. That's sweet, right? Ironically, they don't hire students. So dress as a horse for Derby Day. You could do that. I looked into Bar None before he came to Smith, and they don't have layover or breakdown pay. They pay pretty good a mile. They don't have any layover or breakdown pay. Nomad Trucker, I don't use socks. They're twice as much as chains and don't last as long. I try not to chain up, but in case I need to, I want it to work. All right, so twice as much, so you're buying your own anyway. I have always heard that the socks, as soon as you get any pavement down, you've got to immediately stop no matter what and take them off because they disintegrate literally like a sock. I do like that they have the red and blue stripes on the end of them. That way on the edge that goes over your tire. I do like that. I saw a New England Motor Freight on the road. Thought they were gone. They are gone, but they sold their trailers at auction and trucks. And so some people buy them, maybe an owner-operator. They don't paint them. They just keep using them. I'd paint over it. Alexander, I don't think anyone would have the patience to slip seat with you. You have your truck decked out like a little apartment. That'd be great. I mean, that's pretty good. You get in some of these trainer trucks, too, and they're a disaster. I mean, probably most students would appreciate that you have the truck decked out as opposed to the trainer's clothes are everywhere. Some trainers do that too. They think like they have the idea like you're in my truck. And so I give you just 1 square foot of room over here. You know, you're like a second class citizen in the truck. This is somebody, they're already just getting a new job. Maybe they're new to the industry. Everything is new. And then you're going to, be like that to them. Don't be like that. Okay. Be very welcoming to people. They're going to stay in the industry. You're trying to change someone's life, not be, sergeant, like a drill sergeant in there. Averett is a good company, and their trainers are in the seat of the students driving. That's good. That's how it should be, and isn't that the way to do it? Well, I wonder what do the trainers make there. Ronald, update on crap company of the week. Yeah, we do. I do things to consider, and I've gotten a bunch of stuff from people here, from astute drivers about Stevens. So now I actually have some information about them, and that will be out soon. Bridget says you're not slipping. Exactly. Bridget isn't slip seating trucks. Holy mackerel. James Faust says parrot brake. Oh, yeah, I should do that too, right? And as we say here, if you're going to wear it, make it a parrot. How about that? Oh, right? I wear a blue parrot. You should too. Be legal. Don't hold. I saw some driver the other day holding a phone. What are you doing? Do not be holding your phone. It's a huge fine. Be safe. Can we just make England and CRST the permanent? Yeah, they are, really. 3 bunk truck. I mean, come on. You saw a teal GP truck yesterday, a great color. I know. That's like the super best color. Company trucks, everybody buys these fleet blue trucks. These teal GP trucks are nice. I haven't seen one on the road yet, only in pictures. I see it more here than I see them on the road. You saw one in Colorado last week. It looked good. Mail job's the only way to go, $29 an hour, $32 in Seattle, but they don't pay overtime. And part of that 29 is insurance. 411, 511 in Indianapolis maybe, because there's Solo down there. They run the mail. I think it's 511 up to 40 hours. Pays for your health insurance. And it's still not bad. They're home every day. You get a schedule, but absolutely. Bar none is layover 74 after 34 hours, then 24-hour increments. Detention is $12.50 an hour after 1 hour to a maximum of $98. That's a weird amount, right, for them to do. Alexander says texting and driving can get you a ticket up to $2,500. It may have gone up. Yeah, why is anybody texting and driving? What are we doing? You know, with the new Blue Parrot, you can do everything by voice, too, so you don't even have to touch anything. Well worth, that kind of investment is way less than a ticket. Plus, you hit somebody, I mean, come on. Nobody wants everybody to be texting and driving. Texting will get you a $2,750 DOT fine. That's crazy. Headset, you know, even the best one I've seen, the 550 is like $200. The 450's got voice control in it now. Don't be doing that, okay? Don't text people while you're driving around. Let that go. You can voice do it, though. Most phones, even my phone, which is like 2.5 years old, an LG V20, it'll do it. So there's no reason. All you people, people see everybody, Galaxy 10 or whatever, right? Everybody's got these new phones. You certainly can do that from your phone. You don't have to do it any other way. So what do we think about this $50? I thought that was curious. Given $50 of food, it's not $50, $50 of food. What you do, they have a list there at Great Plains Transport, apparently some kind of app or something you fill out. Here's the food I want. Then they have it delivered there so that you can leave basically stock in your truck with $50 of food. I'll tell you, that's a lot of ramen or whatever. You can get a couple of weeks worth of food for that. Not bad to get on the road to get you started with ramen and stuff like that. I think that's not a bad idea. So like $2,500 to driver, $10,000 to company. Yeah, it's the company gets a fine for that too. It wouldn't be your fine, but they would certainly fire you. Most places, I think, would fire you for texting, holding your phone. They'll fire you. They're here for that stuff too, right? And that's probably most companies. Holding your phone, you're fired. You're caught texting, you're fired. It's pretty much the same. After 43 years done with this madness, what madness? But 43 years, look, you deserve to retire after 43 years, but what is the madness? Texting and driving is a horrible idea. You should get your license suspended. I know. I mean, come on. There's no reason now that you can't use voice control to do all this stuff. Certainly. I think you'd like to text, we're rolling through the scale house. You can text them inside and say, hey, come here and arrest me. I don't pay insurance if you're married and you're on your wife's. I get all the money. Oh, okay. That's the thing about companies too. What's the best company? Depends. If you have a wife that has great insurance or something, you can get on their insurance. So then maybe a company that has better insurance doesn't matter to you. So you don't have to look at that. Maybe you are military, right? We have a couple of retired military, and so they have VA benefits. They don't need our insurance. So then they get to save that money. It depends. That changes everything. That's why there's no one. What's the one perfect company? It depends. It depends on your individual situation, what the company is for you. It could be different. Where I work might not work out for you. And then where you work, I may not like doing it. I'm not sure. Ruben says 2,850 miles in 4 days. That is really working. Where are you rolling 700 miles a day? Holy mackerel. How fast does your truck go? In Texas, Nomad Trucker, you cannot have an electronic device in your hand for any reason while the vehicle is moving. Yeah, I think that's national law, right? You can't hold your phone. If you're driving CDL, can't do it. There's no reason to, though, no, right? At 2.5 years old, my phone accepts voice control. So there's no reason everybody here that's got a new phone or whatever can't just talk to the thing when you're driving and tell it what to do. You don't have to hold the phone at all anymore. Average trainers make $450 extra a week. That's pretty good. And then get 2 bonuses over the first year the student is there. Yeah, again, I don't like the bonus only because I can't control it. I would take it. I would certainly take the bonus, but $450 a week plus whatever the truck is running, presumably. That's pretty good. That's what, $22,000 a year bonus for being a trainer. So the trainer's being paid and the student gets to learn that way rather than saying, you drive, I'll sleep. Doesn't every truck have Bluetooth standard in them nowadays? Yeah, I think so. Probably. All our new trucks do, but it's not great. Anybody that's used them, I don't know. And then Cascadia, which I like the truck. The Bluetooth, not great. It's scratchy. The people have a tough time hearing you. The microphones in it are not really great at noise canceling. I still think you need a headset for the noise canceling. It's better than nothing, kind of like in a car. It works okay. You're still better off with a headset. I don't know. The ones in the Cascadia, I'm not impressed with them. Werner won't fire people for it. If I had a mentor, a new guy driving down the road talking, but his phone to his ear, you're texting, videotape them, send it to safety. Wow. What after all these lawsuits for Werner, and they're like, oh, well, we'll talk to him about it. No wonder they get sued. I think all do, but some won't call, and if they do, they use the phone mic, basically amplified speaker. Well, that would be, the phone mic would be worse than the built-in mic, pretty much. At least the built-in one comes out of the truck speakers. Headsets are only, $100, $150 now. That's not terrible. Certainly the Bluetooth in the truck is better than nothing. Do not hold your phone. That's the last thing you want to do. You can, other than Werner, apparently, you can get fired for that at most places. It's usually a policy, no holding your phone, no texting and stuff like that when you're driving. It's a good policy. They shouldn't really have to write it down. It's probably in Roger Penske's new driver manual as well, most likely on page 63 or something like that. Hey, Mike, what do you think about the dual Bluetooth? Would they sell the black one and the metallic one? Which should you go for? The dual Bluetooth. What is a dual Bluetooth? I'm not, I don't even know. Hopefully that's one of these, really. And not some other kind, which we don't really like. Yikes. Bridget doesn't need to use a Bluetooth device, really. Mark, what are you talking about? Blue Parrot 350, that's the one that I have. I have an older 350. The new ones are even better, but it's certainly better than nothing. You cannot use a handheld device. I mean, I don't understand why people are doing it, really. AB5. I want to keep harping on this because they talked about it a lot in the news. If there's owner-operators, you have to either move out of California, get your own authority, or you can deliver in California but not pick up like it's Canada, like it's another country. They've already done it like it's another country, California. That is Schneider saying that. That's Landstar saying that. That isn't just, oh, this is speculation. That's what they said in letters to their owner-operators that are located out there. Presumably also lease operators, I assume. It said to their independent contractor fleet. So that would include, I assume, lease operators. Is anybody a lease operator out there now that got one of those letters? They have a lot of them. But are you going to move? Are you going to move your whole operation to somewhere else? One guy they interviewed he said, I'm going to have to move because I'm not leaving Landstar. He's been there for years or whatever. That might be a thing to do. I guess if you can get an address somewhere else without moving, that'd be a thing also, but you need a driver's license. Both of them need you to submit a new driver's license for that. 2 earpieces is not legal. That's correct. You're only allowed to cover one ear, so an open, there's a 450 with 2 earpieces. I think that's not legal to drive with. USXL is like hiring experienced drivers. New Freightliner with automated. They are great to you. What do you think about the place? I've seen some ads for them. Like what are you saying they're great for you? Why are they great for you? Because that's always an interesting question people do. California is hosing themselves with all these over-the-top regulations. Oh, look, if people would only abide by this and not deliver freight there for a few days, say, well, we're not allowed to come. I mean, you don't want us, so we don't want to come there. That would totally change all this. How would all these Teslas get all their electricity? They wouldn't. There'd be nothing, and all their organic kombucha juices and all that kind of stuff, that wheatgrass smoothie powder mixes and everything. They wouldn't be able to get any of this stuff out there. Then what? That organic kombucha juice. If they don't have that, the whole place, all the men's hair bun, Aquanet that they use, stuff like that, all that stuff. Skinny jeans. What the heck? I never liked the headsets. Mainly because people use them in a dumb way, like sitting on the toilet talking to their girlfriend about his wife. I agree. The headsets have grown a population of people that seem to like to wear them. And I think this stems, because I usually see it in somewhat older drivers, meaning not 20-year-old drivers. And it comes from when phones first came out. It was kind of a status thing, almost. I got my first phone in 1990. This is very early cell phones. This was a bag phone, and this was a big deal. And then when they finally had a phone that was less than 40 pounds that you could actually carry with you, there was really something. When your phone rang, you're like, oh my God, who is that person? Is that the president over there? Who is that? Is that some CEO? And so these are the same people that wear their headset into the Loves now. And it turns out the cashier at the Loves has a $1,200 phone also. And so's the 4-year-old in line behind you while playing a game on a $900 iPad or whatever. It's not as much of a status symbol, but people have to wear that headset to let you know that at any moment, somebody could call and who knows what they want, even if you're on the toilet. And I agree. Why are people talking to somebody in the toilet? Do they do that in their house too? Oh, I don't mind me. I'm just going in the toilet. I mean, really? But yeah, I see that all the time. Anyone ever drove Interstate 45 from Houston to Galveston, known as the Texas Killing Fields? Why is it known as the Killing Fields? Nomad trucker you haven't delivered or picked up for a year and have no intention of going back so you don't miss it. Look, I tell you, this time of year, the weather, super sweet, right? They have they've got the strictest regulations, yet the worst environment. Half the state is on fire. Yeah, and so what do they do in the fire now? They turn the power off. They make everybody get an electric car, and then they turn off the power so you can't drive your electric car around. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, everybody go get a Tesla. So everybody buys one, and they're like, well, we're turning off the power. Too bad. A Jim trucker likes the 350. That's the one I have. I like it. It's not voice activated, but you can talk into it, which starts the phone up, so that's still fine. It doesn't have the voice in the headset. I think it's good. They're around $100 now. I've seen them for like low 100 range. Well worth it. I mean, just the noise canceling. I only have stuff in here that I really like. A lot of people, they hawk everything. Not me, right? I like Blue Parrots. I like them. You could stand in front of the truck. You can't hear anything. The person on the other end can't hear anything. So anything that I ever bring out here, right, I use and like. That's why there's not tons of commercials on the channel. You're 81. Why did you buy the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? You'll be dead in less than 10 years. Hey, he could make it a little bit longer. I think you can own Indy. You don't care how long. Oh, sweet. They are small enough to treat you right. They have also excellent safety and maintenance. That is part of it, right? Trucks breaking down all the time. What the heck is that? Phone policy covered under bulletin board policy. No sandals in the yard. In the yard. How nice of them. No sandals in the yard. No cell phone calls without hands-free. So sandals are okay outside of the yard, but not anywhere else. No sandals in the yard. Oh, they brought it up page 9, right, early. Killing Fields, notorious serial killer body dumping area for the last 5 decades. Did they find this person? I should ask my wife about that. She'd probably know all about that. She watches all those, killing shows and all that. That's why I got to kind of watch out. She bought some lime and a shovel the other day. I don't know what that's all about. They don't call you a general for nothing. Exactly. Who has no sandals in the yards? That doesn't make any sense. No sandals in the yards. I use the 350. The 450 is the current one, basically. I don't even know I think you can still get a 350. I'd have to look it up. But I use the 350, and I like it. Well worth getting. And this truck does not have built-in Bluetooth. So if you're driving this kind of truck around, you may want to get a headset. And there's that. I have to go over here. Too many clickings. They don't call you the... Okay, right. I don't get it. No sandals. Who sees these sandals? Are there going to be sandals today in the snow? There's always somebody out there in the snow saying, I have sandals, but there's no problem. In the trucking journeys, right? Okay, I'll have to put more. I'll put out an email about that. Swift lowered its guidance based on overcapacity. If there is a shortage of drivers, that would make sense. But there's overcapacity. How can there be overcapacity in the market? And it's a trucking apocalypse. Why does everybody have a truck? The thing is, more people need to get out. We need to get some places out if there's too many trucks. Everybody bought trucks last year. Tons of places that are like, we're buying hundreds and hundreds of trucks. They're still being delivered because they had such a backlog of them. Now everybody's got all these trucks sitting around. Trailers, Wabash is flooded with trailers everywhere around town here. And there's nothing more that we can do about it. So there's all this capacity, and that reduces rates. People should encourage people that are around on the edge to kind of go out of business, really, because people that are on the edge, they'll take this 80-cent freight. They'll take 70-cent freight. And if you're in percentage and somebody takes 80-cent freight and you get 30%, you have 24 cents a mile. You don't need that on percentage either. That's no good for your paycheck either. Let's see, where do I go? If I see a guy with flip-flops without socks, I make an assumption they might be gay. Well, I don't know if they're gay. I make an assumption that they might not be smart. I make an assumption that they're usually from another country, because that's usually who I see doing it. I don't see too many American people doing it that way. The socks, I don't know. Maybe you want the socks so the gasoline and urine doesn't get on your feet that you're walking around in. I mean, closed-toed shoes. Look, you shouldn't have to tell people to wear closed-toed shoes. Tonight is going to be 11 degrees here. There will be people out in flip-flops filling up their truck and then walking inside with a headset on their head. Justin says the California border is going to end up looking like the Mexico and United States border with all the trailer transfer lots. That's how they get around it. Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it, too. I'm surprised Schneider, at least Schneider, must have a lot in Vegas somewhere or Yuma somewhere on the border. I'm surprised they don't do that, really, because they could have a California compliant driver who's local come up to Vegas every day and, run back down to deliver in City of Industry or in the LA area somewhere, something like that. I'm surprised larger companies don't do that with California. And that would just increase the cost to California companies. That's the way to do it. Say, well, no, we have to charge you an extra $1 a mile because you're stupid state. How about that? And so your load of kombucha juice is going to still get there on time. Interstate 45 between Houston and Galveston is known for the people found dead from being killed. Really? Yeah, I'm sure the wife has watched some kind of one of those shows about that. Koreans and Indians love to wear sandals. It does seem like it's people not from the United States. Look around in the truck stops. The KM had to put up a bulletin about it. You can drive with them, but you can't get out of the truck in Phoenix or LA yards. I wouldn't want people driving in them. Who wants to drive with their, with their feet out in the truck? I just don't get it. I was never a big wearer of that stuff. I'm sorry if people are wearing them and are offended by that, but I don't think you should be wearing flip-flops. You're at work as a professional. You don't come to work in flip-flops, okay? That 1940 is the reason you don't like the W900 hood. I don't like the W900 hood because I didn't see any point to having such a huge, long hood. It makes it just a lot more difficult to get backed in. I mean, even this, even the Snowman's truck, really, which is a 77 here, Kenworth, it's still it's a long hood, too. And there's just way too much hood out there to be driving around trying to back in places, even though he has a short trailer. I guess it holds enough, it can get enough cores in there, I guess. They call you the captain, not the general. Overcapacity will end when ELD rules change. I don't know. A lot of people are not compliant yet. What do you think is going to happen on that day? There's tons of Christmas freight moving around and stuff like that. What do you think will happen on December 7th? As I told the coach, there's always somebody willing to work for less than nothing. That's true, and that's half the people's problems, certainly, that you get what you will accept. And so the pay would go up if people didn't accept low pay. You'll stick with your cowboy boots and wool hats. That'd be much better. I don't know how your feet would fit in those, though. Wish all these guys that threaten to quit over ELDs would do so. I know. Everybody threatens, oh, this is it. Every time there's some kind of regulation change. Oh, my gosh, when we went to this new law from the old 15 and 10, oh, I'm going to quit. Everybody's going to quit. Nobody quits. They don't quit. Not cold here in El Paso. Well, at least not to you. What is cold down there? You can hide people because they said they like the blue parrot. I love the blue. Who doesn't like a blue parrot? Keep those people up here. Are the same guys who wash their feet in the sink? Yes. There is some of that. If you want to wash your feet somewhere, do we have to say this? Okay, get a shower. You should have a shower coupon every day. Go wash your feet in there. All right, come on. And don't use toilet paper. Yikes. I don't know about that. There's no such thing as too long a hood. There is such a thing as too long a hood. You can't back the stupid thing in the Bronx. Okay, he's got a short trailer. R.I.P. to Jerry Reed for that. Some Yahoo was saying that a trucker could be responsible for the bodies found there. Probably. Obviously, they never worked off ELD. Unexplained off-duty time. Yeah, you would have to log that. Will Bond likes the show. Very informative. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, are there any Crete carriers out here in the chat today? Who is out here from Crete? They weren't good. They weren't super good to me down there. Same thing with an auto transmission. That's right. They said the same thing. Hey, barbecue trucker, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Auto transmission, I'm going to quit. Oh, we're going to 11 hours driving. I'm quitting. We're going to a 10-hour break. I'm quitting. Every time there's a 53-foot trailers, right, from 48s, I'm quitting because I'm not going to haul the extra freight for money. Because they said, oh, we're not going to make any extra money, which was true. You didn't get paid any extra money. Same thing with the 57-foot trailer. You won't get paid any extra money. It's a single trailer. And so everybody's going to quit. But none of these people quit because, they're just still there. I'm quitting. I'm going to quit. They never quit. If they would quit, everybody would get more money. Does California have free parking lot overnight unless you buy $60 of fuel? And you spend from your personal money $20 or more to buy 2 hours free or 3 hours. I'm sure there are some places that let you park free. I don't know. It was very common to have to pay out there, even for many, many years. So, Alexander, you're going to hop off and try to install a CB. Good luck. Do not shock yourself to death up there trying to get that in there. You just have to know how to back up with a long hood. People today can barely back up, even if you gave them a cab over. That's true. Look, it just makes it harder. It just makes it harder. There's so much out there. When you're burying bodies, just mark it off-duty and not driving on your log. Couldn't that be PC? It seems like that's a personal thing. Like, that's just a choice you're making to do for yourself. It seems like that's personal conveyance, right? That's your time. That's like me time. You're like, it's me and you. Of course, the other person is dead, so it's kind of just you time. So, but that seems like what it is. Let's see. They're best for team driving. They have holes cut in the sleeper floor. I've heard that. Look, Big Wheel, I've heard that there are trucks where people cut a hole. I've never seen it. I've never seen a picture of it or anything. I've never heard about it at all. I don't know if that's true. Does anybody have a picture of one of these trucks with a hole cut in them like that? I don't know. If there is one, send it to me and I'll put it on the show next week of one of these holes. I've heard, we put 3 people. Ironically, that was always the thing years ago. They run 3 people in the truck and they cut a hole in the floor. Well, now England is running 3 people in the truck without a hole in the floor. But everybody from back then remembers that they used to say, there's 3 people in the truck. There's 3 people in the truck and they're cutting a hole in the floor. But I never heard anything about it. You never were behind a truck in the sun on the sunny day and you're like, well, why is it raining out here? I don't know why it's raining. So that was always the thing back then. In the bad weather, most companies have this policy, but for new drivers or whatever that are curious about it, please do not drive if you don't think it's safe to drive. My company and most companies that I've looked into have this kind of policy where if you say it isn't safe, you don't have to drive. And today, with all the snow, the first snow of the year in this area, and it's supposed to be really cold tonight, bridges and stuff will get slippery, you don't have to drive. If you think it's bad, don't drive. There's no way that they can say anything to you because the DOT or whatever protects you. Any company that would tell you to continue to drive, I think is probably not a great place to stay at anyway. The 53-foot trailers were designed for balloon freight. Some companies load them. Well, that's what they said. Oh, will there be lighter freight that you can put in here? Certainly. There's no question about that, and it'll be the same for 57-footers. There's tons of freight that moves around that fills the whole truck up that's not heavy. So you'll be able to pack it full in there. And the 57, I think, are going to come to the country as soon as they change a few laws around. In the early days, no running water in the infield, holes cut in the plywood, rain gutter around the interior walls. Yikes. That'd really be something. Maybe somebody hacked James' files. We can be sure. We can't be sure. Let's see. I don't know. Am I still on there? Maybe. I don't know if I can do this. I clicked something, and I don't know if we can be sure or not. We will check it. I don't know. So there I go. Am I still on the thing? I'm asking, but I can't see it, so great. Good job, Mark. I might have disappeared. So if I didn't disappear, then I know I can do that. We'll send him an email, though. That I do have and know for a fact, so that's what we'll do about that. If you were to run New York City with a hood, it would probably not be pretty. That's the thing, right? That's what I'm saying. The hood, going into New York City with a hood, there's not enough room for cab overs. And with a 57-foot in these hoods, no way. Have you heard anything about night? Yeah, I did a video about night. It's not a terrible place to start. I still think you should go to your Department of Unemployment and get your license that way if the state will pay a grant to send you to truck school. But, it gets pretty good reviews. People write in and like it. Just random, oh, I'm working here. It's doing good. They have a lot of dedicated runs, and you can get on at night on the West Coast, which is unusual. So it wouldn't be bad to get started there as opposed to some places. Werner probably doesn't have that policy about new drivers in the snow. Yeah, of all places, probably Werner doesn't run that kind of policy. I quit every day at least once for a minimum of 10 hours. Yeah. Your Amazon loads from Phoenix to Denver, Vegas, were all wall-to-wall but very light. So you could stick all that. What about a 57-footer? You could still pack that in there, be legal. A D-Boy 611 is glad to not be out driving in the snow today. I bet. Today would be really something. I'm only going to have 7 hours tomorrow to drive, so they give you a load going to Virginia. At least it won't be snowing over there, I don't think. This show makes trucking fun like back in the old days. Thank you, but what about these kind of old days? Is that too old of days? This truck has air conditioning. That box on the top, that's AC. So this truck is super cool. There's a deluxe sleeper right here. You got that deluxe sleeper, and you see that's a 69. Look, in 77, this truck had hardly changed. This is the same truck. Okay, so it hardly changed. The more deluxe sleeper. This one may have built-in air conditioning. We don't know if it doesn't have the top air. We got the deluxe wheels here on the steering. Super great, right? That's how much it's changed just in 40 years, really. That was a common sight on the road back years ago. Headco doesn't like the 57-footer. I think that they will come. Some companies are using them out west. I don't think hoods are allowed in New York City anymore because they keep getting torn off. A super speedway equals flush toilets. Direct quote from Roger Wentz. Yeah, exactly. Not too bad. It's Boston. That's a nightmare. Look, anywhere in the east is not great. You're getting ready to get in Gary. Nice. I'm on 80, and the snow is coming down hard, but it's not sticking. It's still warm out, right? We are looking at 32 here still. It's not going to be bad until later tonight. So hopefully they're out salting the roads and getting them dried off because that's going to be the problem. It's going to get super cold. We're going to lose another 20 degrees here tonight. looking at 11, 12 degrees tonight. That's going to be the problem. I don't think it's going to stick for a few more hours yet. If you're in Gary and you're going to park there in the wonderful Gary, maybe take a tour of Michael Jackson's home there or something, it's time to get that stopped and parked for the night. I've been driving for 10 years in the military, new to the companies on the outside. So it's a new driver company. Who would you recommend? Yeah, Knight would be kind of for new drivers. Any of these large mega carriers, companies that have thousands of drivers and that are generally for new drivers. Look, people do like those companies though, and they stay there. Absolutely. I get those letters all the time. Mark, I'm at a certain company. It's got thousands of drivers, and I like it here because, you're doing a regular run or something. Any company can work out good, but it's generally considered for new drivers. Anything north of mid-Virginia is horrible. You got 43,000 pounds of soy sauce. Anybody down for a party? Wow. That is a lot of soy sauce. 57 fits were legal in Missouri for as long as you can remember. Some states out west, right? I think, Wild Bill, it is already legal. Because here they ship them here out west. They take them up to the railhead and then they ship them because we can't drive them. They have some kind of permit, I guess, to take them down there. You can look at them and they're like, wow, they're pretty long. Pride is a good starter company. All right, there's the Pride for you. Why is Pride? The answer question, why is Pride a good starter company? It's illegal for 53-foot trailers in New York City. I wonder did they change that law? I've been in there with a 53-foot trailer. What do I think about Averett? People are saying Averett, even for training, allows people to go ahead and not team. Plus, Cassius King Trucking, who was on here, did a video about Averett because he was there. And so I think that's a great video to watch about Averett. When you used to work at Werner on the Bush account, called in sick and said in December you were too sick to drive and they made you go get a new physical. They go, oh yeah? You're so sick? Here, take a physical. Did they make you pay for it? Reason they were concerned you might have vertigo. Nice. Somebody was watching an old Hitchcock movie, I think, is the problem. Edward, KLLM, I'm out for them. I'm not a huge fan of KLLM, certainly. That's a new driver where you live. No work until tomorrow, really. Believe it or not, alfalfa from Simone to the Orient. We do a lot of it. Water from the Central Arizona Project to the canal from Colorado River. So you're taking that, it goes to the Orient. We send alfalfa to the Orient? Really? 57-footers have to be setback kingpin in Southern California. So they set the kingpin more than 3 feet. I know there's a mark on them here. And I looked under one of them, and those holes go pretty far forward, as if you could still run 40 feet of, kingpin to rear axle. Another one of Bambi's cousins laid on the side of the road. That's terrible. Beautiful trucks, but wouldn't want to drive them on a daily basis. Exactly. This is a W900A, right? But I don't know, loud. That sleeper was pretty big. I mean, in 77, this is a deluxe truck right here. This is a big-time truck. It's a nice truck now, but I mean, back then, you really had something if you're driving that truck. What do you think about KLL, company driver not leased? Yeah, not a fan. Check the New York DOT website. Oh, really? California and Arizona get 57s that run through the railroad in Chicago. Okay, that's where they're coming then, right, from here. We appreciate you helping us out on that. What do I think about Pride Pace Decent Starter? The trainers have to sit next to the trainee for 2 weeks. They actually know everyone's name. I don't know if that's good or not. That's another personal thing. I don't need them to know my name. I get maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm weird about that. I don't care if they know my name. I do think trainers should sit there the whole time that they're training. If they went through a 57 trailer, the infrastructure couldn't handle it because they're going to have to up the weights. No, they said no up in the weights because of the extra capacity. They said no, it's for light loads. That's how they've marketed these, and that the 80,000 wasn't going anywhere. Aren't sleepers illegal in the boroughs? No way. I've been in there with a sleeper. No way. Unless they have changed the laws. Let's put it that way. I haven't been there for a while. Made you pay for it. Nice. It made me take an Uber 30 miles to get there. Really? That was $300 a pocket, no reimbursement, and you were not allowed to bobtail there. Sweet. So, presumably then, if you didn't get the physical, just couldn't drive for them anymore until you got that because you might have vertigo. I haven't seen any 57s in Arizona out there. Type into Google, are 53-foot trailers allowed in New York City? They run 57-footer stretched out trucks. They got huge nose swings, I bet. Was that the snowman's truck? Yes. Okay, so we got that again, right. That was, but this is the actual, this is a copy, right? A clone of the truck. That was what the truck would have looked like in the show. That's why I got that. 77 Kenworth, same thing. Either way, it's that when you had a truck like this, you were really, some kind of owner operator or whatever back then. You were really doing something. That's how it was then. This was an unusual truck to see back then. They were not on the roads. You need to get a picture of a real long hood Kenworth. I mean, that is a long hooded Kenworth. That's the W900 of today. That's just an earlier version of it. You remember going out with your grandfather having to hide in the coffin when he went through scale houses. Yeah, get back there. My grandfather was a cop many years. He retired as a lieutenant, but they didn't have to work that long then. So he was like maybe in his 50s when he retired from the police force. So he went in and drove a city salt truck for the city. And I remember going out with him in the wintertime, and he would make me duck down underneath the dashboard when we'd go back to fill the salt thing up, because he'd just pull in, and they had people driving the salt filler thing around the I can't think of the name of it, right, front end loader. And so he would just pull in and they filled him up, and he made me get down there so that nobody saw me in the truck. I'm sure that was not allowed, of course, or he wouldn't have made me do it. But I remember doing that kind of stuff too. Never went out with anybody on the road, but did get to ride around town in a salt truck. And they advertise here in Indiana for that. If that's, for people that are retired, that's not a bad job to do in the wintertime. Trucking Journeys knows that sleepers and 53-footers are allowed in New York City, considering you're just there. Okay, yeah, I mean, look, I've been there with a 53-footer and a sleeper. So they had to allow it, but that was time. So they're still allowed. Inch of snow here in a short, I know, it's like packing up here. I'm afraid to look outside. No quarter fenders in the snowman's truck. No, we didn't do any of that back then, right? No hubcaps or anything, right? Mike Reed truck has the beer or the biggest sleeper on it. Yeah. You were there does not mean it was legal. Okay, I'll give you that. I was there. Was it legal? I'm going to assume it was legal. A company dispatches you there. I never thought to check anything like that. Is this legal? I wish I would have. I guess I wouldn't have had it gone. I know it's legal on a freeway, but I didn't think it was legal on surface roads. Yeah, I mean, I made a delivery. I made a delivery in Brooklyn. They're like, here's the address, because I called them. Where are you? I made sure to map it all out in advance and everything. Yeah, absolutely. Every time I went there, I'd do the same thing. Call, map, how to turn, exact directions, everything. Because in New York City, if you get off your route at all from what you've already mapped out, you must stop immediately and check maps, call places and everything. Don't continue to drive. There's so many disastrous corners, bridges, everything else. You can't just go driving around random willy-nilly like I don't have a care in the world. No way. A Trucker Journeys thinks it's legal. I think it's legal. I don't know. I mean, I think they would have a tough time banning sleepers and 53-foot trailers. Nothing would ever get done in New York City. So how would stuff get out of there? Would it have to be loaded and then cross-docked outside of the boroughs? I mean, the extra cost would be tremendous. Who told you it wasn't legal? Yeah, I think it is. It's got to be legal. Imagine the cost. There would have to be big warehouses outside the city of New York City where you'd cross-dock the stuff from 48-foot trailers. That'd be something. 53-footers are always in the boroughs? Yeah, I think so. Number one, if it was illegal, everybody that was there with a sleeper would be pulled over getting tickets. There's tons of them. What the cost of all these companies to have the truck cross-loaded somewhere onto the 53-footer that's going to take it across the country? No way. Now, the Snowman, he didn't get the long trailer because they weren't legal then. This is before the 53-foot trailers came into effect, which was when I've been driving. So I started driving in 88. It was after that sometime because I remember transferring over to some of these longer trailers. You'd have the trucks at docks that were different sized trucks and trailers parked there. And you're like, wow, that seems really long. So I assume it'll be the same as we transfer to 57-foot trailers. It's illegal for 53-foot in the 5 boroughs, not enforced. Look on the NDOT website. All right, I'm going to look that up. I think that's curious. If it's illegal, I'll tell people not to go. No 53s in New York City. Because I don't want to tell people that it's legal if it is not legal. That'd be an interesting thing to tell your company. I can't go, it's not legal. And then the company has a problem. They would have to ask you to do something that's illegal. That would be a very interesting thing to see. An Elvis sighting on Trucking Answers, that would be really good if we could see Elvis here. I did see him at a truck stop years ago. I've never said this story. I don't remember the name of the truck stop, but I swear to you, Elvis was coming out of a shower and came out of a door down there, and walked out. And remember, he did drive a truck before he started to be a singer. So, and I swear to you, to this day, seeing that guy, that was Elvis. You have to get a daily permit for New York City for non-divisible loads. I used to live in Vegas. Elvis will never die out there, right? I live in Brooklyn, and they're legal. We take 53-footers and pick up Ross clothing. Some of them are picked up. Love the flag taped to the back of the chair. Roger Penske, thank you. Everywhere I go has one. Car has one, right? The studio have one. Cars, truck, everything. Always flags, right? We're America, so. And thank you to veterans today. It's Veterans Day. Took your test pulling a 45-foot trailer, and the 45-foot were big following. Okay, so the 45s, 48s come out after that. Right, 45, that was something. We used a 26-foot trailer in my test with a synchronized 5-speed small Ford single-axle truck that just qualified for a D license, which is what it was in Illinois at that time. So absolutely, that was the test I took in a short trailer so that we could get around corners, because if you hit a curb or anything, then you failed. And that's what the truck school did to get you your license, so you could absolutely get a job. That was what they were trying to do, which worked, which certainly worked. But that's what year did those 48 foots come into effect? When they switched over to that, when you were allowed that, which was amazing then. 48 footers were never, and then remember 73-280 in Illinois, 80,000 pounds. How are we ever going to stop? Every time some kind of regulation or some size increase, it's always drivers that are like, I'm quitting the industry now, but then they never quit, and we get Swift saying there's overcapacity. Of all places, Knight Swift saying there's overcapacity in the market and we can't get people moving all the time. Then we had these trucks. That's why you had these kind of trucks, because of length laws. Most of the trucks were this kind of thing rolling around the highways because of the length law in the United States. You're only allowed a certain length. And that is clicked. And there, I'm back to that. Good job on that, Mark Wright. Vans $1.80, flats $2.17, reefers are $2.11. Trucking added jobs in October. It's snowing out. Melton's raising their pay. Great Plains gives out $50 food vouchers to new drivers. If the bad weather would just stop driving. Omnitracs is back up and running this week. And AB5 says, look, you got to move, get your own authority, or deliver, but not pick up in California. That's crazy. I can't believe that they're doing this and people are just going along with it. Oh, I guess that's just the way it is out here. I mean, it came from Uber, who's fighting it, but it got into trucking. They didn't realize there's always a side effect of all these goofy laws that they do. You remember when they said 48-footers were huge? Yeah, and then they said the same thing about 53-footers. 48-footers came out in 86. Really? That was that far up? I would have figured 70s. The length of the trailer is irrelevant as long as it's a combo you can test. Right, that's what they told us at truck school. It didn't matter. It was still a combination, properly classed vehicle for the test. And so that's what they took us out in. And the thing it was synchronized. It was a 5-speed synchronized transmission, just like a car. So that way you didn't miss a gear or anything during the test. That's why they did it. It looked like a kind of truck that you might drive for Coca-Cola or something, but it didn't. But it had a regular van trailer on it. But it was maybe that size truck. Much of the rest of the world runs cab overs. Yeah, they get sweet looking cab overs in the rest of the world. They're getting 700 horsepower Volvo cab overs and stuff. And over here, no. UPS had all cab overs back in the day. Yeah, everybody did. All right, I had them at Ream water heaters. I had cab overs. JB Hunt, I remember they had tons of cab overs. Schneider, everybody was cab overs then. New York vehicle and traffic law. This is interesting. 53-foot trailers are not allowed to deliver pickup anywhere in the 5 boroughs. Really? Well, that's pretty interesting. So you could go to your company and say, well, with the truck you've given me, I'm not allowed to go to New York City legally without that permit. I guess the company would get a permit, get you back out of there, and then fire you. That's according to the DOT from the New York State. All right. So I'll get that. I'll have to get that and have it posted. But that's pretty interesting that you cannot take a 53-foot trailer into the boroughs of New York City. That's really good. There's a way. There's your way out of New York City. I had no idea, right? I would have told him forget it. So Trucking Journeys is going to the Gary, Indiana TA. Oh, sweet. In the snow. And that's a great place, too. It's everybody in there is so friendly. Gary is such a friendly town. Everybody's friendly, would like to talk to you and everything. It's just the greatest town to go into. Be sure to get an Uber up to Michael Jackson's home there. That's where I used to live, up there in Hammond, and that's where my stepfather worked in Gary in the mills, because we lived up there, Lansing, Illinois, for a while. Hammond, I moved over there. That's how it all went down up there. So as I wrap up here, anybody else got anything on this $50 thing? I thought that was interesting. I guess it's just me. I like the truck pictures. The DAT load boards are up. If it's unsafe, please stop driving. Weight limit was 73,280 east of Mississippi, and 80,000 was legal. Right. And people said, 80,000. We're going, how are we going to stop the trucks, right? And then Illinois was like one of the last holdouts from that. What happened to the truck from Smokey and the Bandit? That is right here. This is a clone. This is not the actual truck, so that's what they said in the picture anyway. But pretty cool anyway. Made it look pretty good. I really like it. I've never seen one on the road. This is at some kind of trucking show, I can assume. Area 51 aliens also disguised as little old ladies, pulling oxygen tanks and smoking Lucky Strikes at the skyline on the Boulder Highway. That's great. If every truck was pulling a single pup trailer, there'd be no shortage of good-paying loads. Oh, that's a good way to do it. There's the solution. 26-foot trailer length limit. If I'm not mistaken, no sleepers or 53-foots only applies to Manhattan. All the other boroughs are truck route only. Well, I know I had to go off a truck route to make a delivery in some little bitty dock. Remember that place? You barely could fit. I actually had to drop the trailer in the street, so I didn't block half the street, and then park next to it, because then the company called. They go, hey, what happened? Your truck, you're not attached to your trailer anymore. I go, I know. I'm right here. Michael Jackson invented roller wieners? Oh, that would be something if that was a great store. We're going to have to get that. Well, Bill, be careful. Yeah, I'm going to try to be tonight. Gary, Indiana. I don't know about that. Hookerville? I don't know. Maybe. The gyro and beef Italian stand across the street. Yeah, but zigzag. Always if you're traveling in that area, look both ways, but zigzag across over there. I went to a rural high school. Boys and girls got their D license on a 5-axle semi-dump Mack. Yeah, that's what I got, was a D license in Illinois to start with. A 5-axle semi-dump Mack would work in a 25-foot trailer, right? If it qualifies, if it fits, then you get the license if it qualifies, certainly. Wasn't Smokey the Bandit 48-footer? 48s were around. I don't think so. I think he had the short 45-footer, I think. Do they mention the size of the trailer in the show? At some point, does he say 48-footer or something? I don't know how you would know otherwise. You're from New York City your whole life. 53-foot has been welcome anytime. I'm bringing your 53-footer home for Thanksgiving and to Times Square. That'd be something. I know you do see them there all the time. If that's an actual law, then you would have a point to say, look, I can't go to New York City with this trailer. It's not legal. And so the company can't ask you to do anything that's illegal, because then they get in trouble. It'd be an interesting thing to do, I guess, if you wanted to give him grief about it. While Bill thinks Smokey and the Bandit was a 45, I think so too. I don't think it was a 48-foot. I think this is a pretty good representation of what it looked like as a 45-foot trailer. That would have been pretty common in the mid-70s to see on the roads, that size trailer. Went from a shaker to a Kenworth. You prefer the shaker. I like my Freightliner. I do like them. 40-foot Hobbs. You had a 40-foot trailer. That'd be even shorter. That would be almost as short as the truck. The truck's 20 feet long by itself, just in its wheelbase, for crying out loud, for back then. But I have to go and make my company some money, as they say, in the snow. So we'll be out playing with you and everybody in the snow. Be careful out there today. It is going to get cold tonight. Get all your winter weather gear and stuff, and be careful on the roads of America. And join OIDA too, right? Don't forget about OIDA. I always say to join OIDA. Don't forget about Jay on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time, right? Go check him out, Auto Transport Intel. Interested in auto transport hauling? 8 p.m. Central right here on YouTube, right? That is Jay. Go check him out. He is there for you at 8 p.m., all right? Thanks to Jay for being a friend of the show so much, as always. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. Wild Bill, I want to thank, let's see, who wasn't here today, right? Barry McConker was the other day. Misty, thank you for being out there first today. I appreciate it. Caleb, I appreciate everybody being here. Alex Express was here. Mad Hatter, thank you for coming in. Trucker Hershey, James Faust, thank you for being here today. Roger Penske for being here several different ways, as they say. Justin Bowles was here. Thank you. Alexandra, thank you for being in today. And I hope you do not get shocked with that. Holy mackerel. Mastermind, who's going to join a trucking mastermind. I appreciate you coming in. Nomad Trucker, it's good to see you. Edward is here. Adco, thank you for coming in today. Size Nation is here. I love Size Nation. Size Nation. George Wilson was here. Kim English. Everybody comes in. And, of course, I miss a lot of people, which I apologize. I do appreciate everybody being here. It's always something when people come in. I always say that, but it is true, right? From this side, it's really something that anybody comes in at all. And I do appreciate everybody being here. On to the 100th show coming soon. Yeah, we will have a giveaway for that. I think that'd be a great idea. Let's do something great for that show, which will be coming up here close to Christmas time, which will make a good time for it anyway. So, Ruben, what state is the hardest to cross? Texas. It's the freaking 900 miles to drive all the way across there, right? DJ, Heart Attack. Favorite and worst state? Well, anywhere northeast, right? I just hate, the farther west you go, the better it is, because it's just open road. So crossing the country, that's the way to do it. Edward's using Ship, and you love it. Look, that's why I put it on there. I love Shipped. I get Shipped groceries delivered. You should check out Shipped if you want groceries delivered to your truck, and I thank you for saying that. I only put things that I use, and I love it, and I'm glad that you're liking it. Isn't it great? You get all these fresh groceries delivered wherever you are. I think it's the greatest thing ever. Michael, have a good one. Thank you. Eric S., you be safe out there, too. James Faust, we'll see you later. Thanks for being here. Big Wheel. And that is going to wrap it up as I make some money for the company. Be safe, and we'll see you next Monday.